All right, I think I got some audio now. Um, so first and foremost, I just want to thank the people watching me. Actually got 15 people, 20 people watching, so that's pretty awesome. The way this is going to work is I'm just going to pretty much run through the radar here and just follow some of these severe storms, pinpoint some of the locations, and you'll be able to see through how at least I do some of my reporting through social media and Twitter and Reddit, of course. That's about it. So I brought up the radar just not too long ago, and I see there already is a tornado warning here in Kearney, Nebraska. The cell has already produced a tornado. It looks like tornado was on the ground for 3 minutes, and there was another funnel cloud. Looks like that's the only report. Now, it's from a National Weather Service employee, so pretty good information there. And I look at the base velocities and relative velocities, and I don't see any rotation right now. Could step out a little bit just to see if there's some higher level stuff, but I'm not really seeing much of anything. Well, in 1 second here. All right, so don't see much rotation with that cell right now, but we're definitely going to keep an eye on it. If you click on the warning, it's saying that the radar indicated rotation. Flying very dangerous, yeah. Nothing too much. It doesn't look like there's much right now, but certainly was a tornado on the ground near Upland, Missouri there, or Nebraska. So we'll try to follow that cell and see what else we have going on. All right, sorry about that. Dog kept banging out the door, so I had to put him outside. Jump back to the radar. Like I said, just that one tornado right now. That is a confirmed tornado. I think that actually is the first confirmed tornado of the day, and it is. So far, as reported on the SPC website. That tornado occurring just dead center, southern Nebraska, northern Kansas there. So that cell continuing to push, I believe, pretty much due north, and actually it looks like that tornado warning has expired. They didn't reissue it, didn't expect them to. Looked like the rotation died on that storm. So right now, still a little bit quiet. See a line of thunderstorms here entering now eastern Missouri. Those storms pushing north and east. Of course, a tornado could develop with those, but it's not really what we're looking at. We're looking for like the line behind them, like these supercell clusters behind them. These are the ones you will really want to keep an eye on, and we'll track those storms as they move. Some of them are going to get pretty powerful, and you can see they got that nice design to them, that nice supercell design. The hail core, the little geckos on them. So should be an interesting day, and even furthermore down south here in southern Missouri, southern Missouri, Arkansas. That's where the cells are really going to start popping up, and the main threat for some tornadoes is going to be here in Arkansas and northern Louisiana. I think as you get more toward Missouri, you're going to see some more hail, some strong winds, and you see there are some funnel clouds being reported. So tornado, can't be ruled out of question anywhere from Missouri up to Iowa. But I think the basic track of these storms is going to be most of Arkansas, some Louisiana. Yeah, could see some eastern Texas in there as well. if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, that's where I will be posting most of the information here. I try to. There we go. So I got a couple people that have to hit me up already. Most of my information is here on Twitter. I try to post up updates and follow some of the questions that people be asking me and whatever else on there. And my Twitter handle is @WeatherTrek. It's TREK. So it's @WeatherTrek. You can add me on Twitter. Send me some notifications. Keep me busy. I'm sure this is going to be a long, busy night. I may be a little bit slow jumping back onto Twitter to check some of those, but I will certainly give it a go as much as I possibly can as the day moves on. So hit me up on there. You can always just send me a message on Reddit. I'm going to be checking this pretty frequently as well to see the /r/storm chasing subreddit. It's a great resource for chasers, and a lot of people post on there and just about what people are planning on chasing and hitting up the area. So that's always nice to jump on there as well. For right now, I said it is a little bit slow. 28 reports of wind damage, 35 hail reports. A lot of the hail reports, they're kind of, 1 inch, 1.25. That's hardly anything, too bad to worry about. So right now, kind of slow. We're waiting on the storms to fire up, and they should be firing up here along this front as the day moves on. It'd be nice to jump and see. Nah, nothing there. This is the new Gibson range. This is the GR Level 3, the version 2, and it's probably not new to you guys, but I've been running on the old version for so long, and I've wanted to have street zooming, and I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that was even a possibility until I posted up on the thread, and somebody's like, yeah, that's been around for the last couple months or whatever, how long. So I found out I was eligible for a free upgrade, which is a beautiful system. So now you can actually see where the real big populations are. And I'm not just guessing like I have in the past. When you zoom in and you see Salem, is that a big city or not? I don't know. At least now with the GPS and the street mapping, I can see, yeah, there's some industrial area there, a lot of tree coverage, but so not too big of a city. But you can definitely see where the storms are going to be tracking and where they're actually hitting. So great resource there, and I'll be using this over the course of the night. I got a little thunderstorm here, 1 3/4 inch hail as a possibility. That's pretty significant size hail. That is down near Okolona, and that is in Alabama or Mississippi. So that storm's going to be tracking northeast, be heading toward Tremont and Fulton, Smithville. Should be in the clear, should go just north of you, but there's another cell probably developing right underneath it. So, keep an eye out. And so it's a severe weather event today being mostly Arkansas, Louisiana. That cell, if we jump back onto the SPC page real quick, and just for, if you're looking at new and you're just getting into storm chasing, and there is a high risk now, they did update that eventually. So I kind of expected that, and that's what happened. Anywhere in this green, if you're new into storm chasing, anywhere in the green, you can see some thunderstorms, and it's very likely. Now, when you get into the slight chance, it's a better chance of seeing some good thunderstorms. And the slight doesn't mean a slight chance for thunderstorms. The slight means a slight chance of severe weather. Severe weather being 60-mile-per-hour winds, hail in excess of 1 inch, of course, a tornado. Or flash flooding. So that's your slight risk. Doesn't mean a slight risk of a storm. I would say anywhere in the green would be a slight risk of a storm. Anywhere in the yellow, indicating that there's a good chance of a storm, slightest chance of it being a severe storm. The moderate, that's a pretty good sign that you're going to have some pretty bad weather. Anytime you're in this moderate region, you need to really keep an eye out for the storms and the forecasting as it becomes available to you. Just like this is today's forecast, and if you look at tomorrow's real quick, we're going to jump back into today's, but tomorrow, much of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, those areas, you certainly want to keep an eye out in cities like Memphis and Greenville, Jackson, Mississippi, and Jackson, Tennessee. Birmingham, Alabama, even. those cities tomorrow will be in the moderate chance of severe weather. And that, usually when they say moderate, they mean severe weather is going to happen. It's pretty much a certainty that you're going to have some severe weather in this area. Now high, this is the highest they have. And high is pretty rare. You don't see that too often, especially being, this is being the first good storm chasing day of the year. High is rare, and you can see that they've now issued a high category for much of southwestern Arkansas, just a shade of Oklahoma and Texas in there as well. That's kind of where I thought the storms were going to develop, just by looking at some of the forecasting tools and following a lot of what people say. And that's how I get most of my information, is I just follow what people say. I'm not the best at looking at the holographs and the 10,000 other systems out there. I just go by what people say, and I kind of take their word for it. There's professionals to do this. I let them handle that kind of stuff. In my spare time, I like to jump on and track weather and jump onto Twitter and give people as much advance notice as I possibly can toward a storm. Tornado warnings are always great. I just don't feel like, especially when you have these long track cells like you're going to today, you should have some long track tornadoes down here in southern Arkansas. They don't give enough notice to people outside of that area. Yeah, it's great to know that like a tornado could hit you within half an hour, but why not let people know that, hey, there's a tornado heading your way within the next hour and a half. It may dissipate, but take it serious and certainly start preparing now. And that's kind of what I try to do, is I try to let those cities ahead of that warning area know that some severe weather could be heading their way within the next hour and a half, something like that. This cell here, I'm going to see if I can get a good angle on that. It's kind of tough from where we're at. It's looking like a pretty nice little cell though. Ping pong size hell. That cell tracking northeast, and that's the kind of stuff you got to worry about. It's not so much all the scatter or the big line of storms that you see up in this area. You see these little individual cells that kind of pop up. The cells, they need to gain energy, and to gain energy, generally speaking, they're going to be by themselves. When you get a big line of storms, it's not like any particular cell can gain enough energy to produce the gigantic hail and the really bad tornadoes. Generally speaking, the cells by themselves are the ones that can suck in enough of the energy and produce those kind of looks. So that's why you want to keep an eye out on the cells that are popping up individually. I look at the base velocity scan for people that don't know that, and while it's slow, I'm going to go ahead and explain that real quick. Base velocity, you have 2 to 1 directions, and that's your green and your red. Green wind is coming toward the radar site, and red is going away from it. So you can see this is your wind line right here, basically, right around there. The green heading up toward the radar site, and the red heading away from it. And what that helps you do is, when you look at a cell like this, and you can see a little bit of red in here, and a little bit of red right back here. This is, the giveaway, is that this is your outflow of your thunderstorm, I guess. If I look at back here, yeah, you're like right back in here. So the cell, even though it's moving northeast, it's blowing wind out, a southwest direction, or maybe probably even a south direction. And then you can look at the numbers. The numbers aren't high. There you can, talking like 10 miles per hour or something like that. So it may not be blowing it exactly southwest. It could be in another direction, but that's a pretty good indicator of, you can start to see some rotation on the higher levels there. If you start to see some really sharp reds and some really sharp greens together, it tells you that you got like a spinning rotation, a rotation in your clouds, and it kind of indicates that there could be a tornado on the ground. And that's what I'll be doing a lot of today, is following those kind of indicators on those cells. And that cell is heading, it's in telephone, we're in Oklahoma now. So heading into Oklahoma right now on the Texas border. Telephone, Texas just passed, and it's going to be heading up towards Soper, Boswell, Spear, Hugo. You guys are going to be seeing that cell within the next hour. Doesn't look like this thing's planning to die out anytime soon. We'll have to keep an eye on it, whether it intensifies or not as well. Got like a little too many things open up. I try to keep my eye on everything. That's a little bit difficult sometimes. I saw Mike Bettis. He was in Joplin, Missouri, trying to follow that storm. They thought it was going to go tornadic, and as you can see, the storm fizzled out. Nothing happened. So, yeah, nothing too fun there for them. And of course, guys, there's Reed Timmer posting up the um, Arkansas high. I think that's where he's going to be. I think that he tweeted out a little bit earlier that he would be in southern Arkansas. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can get a good look on it. I forget what his website is. Somebody wants to help me out with that. You can send that. Jeez. It's just chasertv.com. I forget what his actual website does. I don't think he uses Chaser TV anymore like they used to. So somebody does know that website, you can send it over to me because I think their streams are usually pretty high quality and they're good streams to have. One side I just pointed out, it did get its thunderstorm warning extended, and it's up now toward Hugo. So that's the kind of stuff where, I try to do this for tornadoes more than thunderstorms, but you can see that's the kind of stuff that I try to do is, hey, I just gave Hugo a little 5 minutes advance of a warning, than what the National Weather Service did. So that's the kind of stuff I try to do, and I just try to let people be aware of severe weather, a little bit before it gets there, and before the National Weather Service really takes a good handle on it. So we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll follow these storms as they push forward and they push east a little bit. We'll follow these cells and mark any individual tornadoes that we see and get a good look on the radar. I think today's going to be a really good look. If the storms are down here in southern Arkansas, we have some good radar coverage right around that area. So we should be able to see some really good radar feeds coming from these storms. There are sometimes you get some storms in, like Tennessee and area. Sometimes it's really tough. If you get storms like maybe even here in western Arkansas, it gets a little tough to get good quality radar data, being it's right in the middle of everything. But as these storms are going to be in southern Arkansas, we should have some great radar data, some high quality feeds rolling in. So that's fantastic. I'm going to jump off for just a couple of moments, and I'll be right back on and keep an eye out for any tornado warnings and let everybody be aware of this as they happen. Okay, and I'm back. Just following these storms up. Where am I at? Southern Iowa. A couple of funnel clouds reported with this big line of storms. That line is going to continue moving northeast. And you can see some of these cells even moving north. So pretty interesting to see how this cell here unfolds. Some hail being reported. This is only 2.5. Feeling it's a little bit bigger now. I'm probably seeing half-inch hail or so in Sully. And this storm has actually already produced a couple funnel clouds, so very interesting there. Pea-sized hail, funnel cloud, heavy rain. A lot of wind gusts coming in around 60 miles per hour. I've kind of went through a lot of these reports, 70 mile per hour. Roofs blown off of farm buildings. Oh, it's interesting. 60 mile per hour. 60 mile per hour, yeah. So all about 60 mile per hour winds up there. So certainly worth following. And I've been tracking this one cell. I'm going to continue following this cell. It's a fairly ugly one. I'm going to keep following this one right here. I don't like the way it looks. It's just now produced 1-inch hail, and that report was coming in literally 3 minutes ago. So you can see it's right here in this, right in the core of the hail cell. Don't see anything of a hook yet, but the cell is getting really strong, and that's the one we were following. We were following it down here when it was in Bonham. That was cell is B4. It's moving 30 mile per hour in a northeast direction. So Soper and Ratton keeps on that track, which it looks like it's going to. Looks like it's going to hit some farmland after that before heading up toward Pickens area and those areas in Oklahoma. But that would be probably 2 hours away. So you're talking a good distance away right now. Ratton, you're still an hour out. But it's certainly worth to keep an eye on this cell as it continues to develop. See if I can do a frame by frame. Yeah, I mean it's certainly remaining organized, if not strengthening. I mean, I'd actually say it's strengthening. You can see some of the hail core there, and then as you jump into the last step, it may be getting a little bit less organized. There's already a new pop-up coming up from the back, so we'll certainly keep an eye on this cell. Right now, out of all the cells I'm looking at, that probably looks like the best cell. For anything going to be going tornadic at any point, keep an eye on it. Do a quick search around the area. Lots of thunderstorms popping up in Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and northeastern Arkansas. Those cells are not what we're looking for. We're looking for that initial pass to go through, and it's going to be the ones that pop up behind it here in the next couple hours. That should really begin to produce. You can see things like this guy here, who wasn't around 2 clicks ago, and within 10 minutes you can sort of see him pop up. He's with this big cluster here, and then the clusters are a little bit less likely to develop than those single cells like we see out here in Oklahoma. This is certainly the one to keep your eye on. That's next update in 2.5 minutes, so we'll be able to see what it's doing. We're not going to see any rotation, anything yet. It doesn't even look like it should be, but we'll keep an eye on it. So the way everything's happening, we're getting these storms today, is we have a big cold front coming down from Canada, I should say. It's kind of moving down, and then from what I'm reading, from what I'm trying to understand of a lot of the stuff that the SPC puts out, that front's coming down and then trying to push east. So as it's moving down, it's able to push east in places like Iowa and even northern Missouri. But as it gets down to Arkansas and in that area, that front's kind of coming down. It's just kind of stopping a little bit. It's kind of slowing down. It's more or less stationary, but still pushing. And then we have another front from the Gulf moving up, pushing the warm air up. You got the cold air coming down. You got the warm air moving up, and it's moving. Pretty much due north. So you got the cold air coming down, you got the warm air coming up. You start to see some of that circulation, and that's what they're expecting today, especially in southern Arkansas, as that front starts to stall out and kind of remain dormant there. As it starts to move on, it's looking pretty good for a good chance of some twisters there. So we will certainly follow it all day. Yeah, Rick Smith posting out some of the National Weather Service Twitter handles. I am going to follow those. Reporting Little Rock putting up weather balloons. That's something to do whenever you know you got some bad weather. Just put up some weather balloons. Interesting. Memphis is a little bit far away. Springfield, yeah, not really interested in them either. But I will follow Little Rock and Shreveport. Shreveport, people who do not know, I'm still trying to familiarize myself with this area, but Shreveport, right here. Any in this area, like the Homer, Farmersville, Bastrop, Shreveport, those areas, whatever highway this is, and I don't have any markers that give away highways, which kind of sucks, but it's definitely interstate. Whatever interstate this is, anything north of that, you need to keep your eye open. I keep talking Arkansas, and I'm sure a lot of people keep talking Arkansas. Anybody north of this interstate, you need to keep an eye on these storms as they move through. You could even see, storms as far south as Mansfield, Jonesboro, Winfield here. Storms could move down halfway, south of Louisiana. So anywhere in that region, certainly keep your eyes open as these storms start to develop in the afternoon, evening hours. Well, other than now, it's just more of a waiting game, and that's a lot of Little Rock posting me out of the PDS tornado watch has just been issued. Let's jump on here. We'll look up the current watches, and we'll see. Here it is. I don't see where it says it's a PDS. If Little Rock just said it was a PDS, I'm sure it is. It may just be a little bit slow here, but so tornado watch just now being issued for much of Arkansas, northern, right where I just kind of said it, eastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas, northern Louisiana, and pretty much all of Arkansas. Little Rock, I'm not sure what this little city is here. I can't really read it. It's a little bit too fuzzy even on my screen, let alone on the live stream feed. But anybody in southwestern Arkansas, you're right in the heart of this. Chance of tornadoes is going to be high, and the chance of an EF2 tornado is moderate. And moderate, again, for what I was saying earlier, moderate's certainly not bad. Moderate's pretty high. So you're going to want to keep an eye on these cells as they start to fire up. Several tornadoes, a couple intense tornadoes, likely widespread large hail, isolated very large hail events from 2.5 inches in diameter, scattered damaging winds, and isolated significant wind gusts to 80 miles per hour. Kind of tells where it's going to happen at, but if this is a PDS, just so everybody knows what a PDS is a particularly dangerous situation. Usually it will say it right here in the watch text. I'm not seeing that. So it was tweeted out by National Weather Service Little Rock, a PDS tornado watch has been issued. And particularly dangerous situation is something that the National Weather Service now does to kind of really just kind of put a little bit more fear in people and hope they pay a little bit more attention than they would to a regular watch. Oh, actually, this is the one right here, I'm going to assume. That's the one I clicked on. I need this little one here. No. So the warning text isn't out for this watch yet. This is the one we're worried about, and this is going to be like pretty much in the heart of Arkansas. It's a new watch in the heart of Arkansas, not the one I was just talking about, the one from eastern Oklahoma and then much of all of Arkansas. This one's pretty much in the heart of Arkansas. Leaves out the top, maybe 50 miles and in the bottom 50 miles of Arkansas, just in the middle there. That is our first PDS watch of the season, probably. I'm waiting for that warning text to come through. It's just not quite there yet. So we will certainly I'll give you that information as soon as I can. And in the meantime, if you guys have any additional information you want to share with me or reach out to me, you can do that on Twitter at the @WeatherTrek Twitter handle. Send me a message on Reddit. It's going to be a long night. I'm going to get bored, and you're probably going to get tired of me talking. So hit me up on Reddit, give me some conversation, whatever. Just say hi. Let me know you're out there. I will try to get that storm report out as quickly as I can. Tex Aggie there asking me what kind of software I'm using for the radar. This is the Gibson Range Level 3. It's probably the most affordable, nice software that's out there. You get that at, give a quick shout out to those guys just because I feel like it's an awesome product. It's grlevelx.com. You got a couple different systems you can use. The GR Level 2, which is absolutely beautiful, but it's kind of expensive. The GR Level 3, I think it's like $100 now. Maybe it's probably might be less than that, $80. And then I sign up for a live feed of radar data. I get a lot of my radar data from Allison House. I use warnings from Allison House. I have a few other little things in there that I have tacked on it. I don't have it enabled right now. I can show you those, and that's things like mesoscale discussions, which don't see any right now. The National Weather Service storm cell tracking. Basically what I have here, just with a little bit of cone, to give you direction of where it could hit. And then I have watches and warnings by county. That should be popping up. Yeah, for some reason my watches and warnings by county is a little bit slow showing up. Well, it's there. It's there. I have my watches turned off. That's why. I only have warnings. So you can see there, one of the warnings, it highlights it by county rather than the exact area. And I like having the exact area. It just feels a little bit more accurate. So some of those are turned off. But the radar feed itself, all the radar data updates every 2 or 3 minutes. That's through Allison House. I think that runs me $7 to $10 a month, and I just pay for it during the storm season. And then the storm program itself is the Gibson Range Level 3 system. You can kind of see, I think our one cell here is still kicking it. A little bit of hail there, 1 inch report of hail, so it's still trying to move on, although it has kind of really been slow lately. So it's kind of what I'm thinking is happening here. It looks like this is going to die out, and then maybe something else is going to produce behind it as this cell dies out. So we'll keep an eye on that, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that long-lived cell that I was hoping to see just a little bit earlier. See where we're at right now. We got some widespread thunderstorm warnings in Iowa, Missouri, Oklahoma. I'm guessing that's this little guy here. Indeed, Nebraska, Grayson, Kentucky, little guy. These line of storms, not really too interested in them. I'm probably not going to be giving you much information on them. It's just the big cells that I'm really curious and following today and getting that information out. I'll probably have my hands full, and it's kind of fun. I've done this stuff before, and I've done the live streams before, and doing those, it's kind of drawn out. It's kind of boring at times, like right now. But then when the cells really start to get going, it's just like you can't keep up. I feel like I can't do a service in providing enough information on all the cells because when I look at a cell, I really want to analyze it. I really want to get exactly what's going on and provide as much heads up as I can. At the same time, I don't want to sit there and just spam Twitter every 2 seconds for every single tornado warning like a lot of people do. And it's great. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's a great service. I love people that send out all the tornado warnings. I get a lot of them, but at the same point, when it gets bigger like that, I really have to look at cells. I have to determine, okay, this tornado looks really bad. This one just looks like it could be, radar indicated. It doesn't look as bad right now. And as the day moves on, I really try to focus on the bigger cells and it gets to be a headache. And, right now it's a little bit slow, but it certainly gets to be crazy when things get going. See what we got going on Twitter, see if anybody's posting anything. Has to be Ladies Professional Golf Association? Nope. We'll see if that tornado warning is, yeah, so there you go. We'll see if that tornado warning is, or tornado watch is updated yet and get the report on that and what they're saying about it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so chance of tornado being high and chances of EF2 plus tornadoes being high. That's really bad. So they are really, really expecting some bad storms in this area, and that's when that's when I said the PDS warning that they don't issue those too often, and that is until 11 p.m. Central Time. So we've got quite a while to go, another 7.5 hours. I don't know if those cells will expand that long, but certainly keep an eye out on them. I'm going to jump off away from the screen here for just a minute. I'll leave the radar up, and we'll track the storms, and we'll see if we can get the text on that severe weather watch right when I get back. Alrighty, I'm back here. I'll keep talking, keep everything going, moving on. I must not be doing too bad. I mean, I still have about the same amount of viewers I had when I first started, so I know at times it's going to get a little bit boring until things start to heat up, but I must not be doing too bad, so I'll kind of keep it going as I have been. Again, if you want, you can reach out to me. Twitter account is @WeatherTrek, and it's @WeatherTrek. I'll be on here pretty much all night, providing updates and sending out alerts to people. Or you can always send me the message on Reddit. User account is DugUp46. If you click on the live weather stream thread, I'm kind of right there. You can just send a message there. A chat feature would be handy. I kind of agree. Kind of keep everybody talking a little bit more as well. It's something we'll have to check out. Something we'll certainly keep an eye out. And maybe we can get something like that going. Again, I've never really done this on this kind of a scale, so if it's something that you guys think is going to be useful, and as the storms move on, I think, of course, there's going to be a little bit more use of what I'm doing as compared to right now. But if it is something that you think is useful, it's something I don't mind doing, every once in a while. If it looks like a pretty bad day like today where you have a high risk, I don't mind doing the streams and providing the radar data and kind of the commentary for some of these storms out to people. So if it is something that you guys like, and it's something that seems to be going well so far, let me know. Make sure everything's going to kind of based on your feedback. If I'm if I don't get any feedback, then I don't know if it's going well or not. But feel free to message me on Twitter at WeatherTrek or on Reddit with the username DugUp46, and let me know how everything's going. If we like what I'm doing so far, we'll certainly have some more of these in the future. And I think it should help a lot of people, and not just who live in the area of central Arkansas, but people around the country who are getting into storm chasing and kind of wanting to know, like, what tools do people use for radar feeds, and you know, what to look for on a radar, besides just having, your radar kind of looking like this. Because when you go to National Weather Service, this is kind of what your radar looks like. You can see some of the differences. You have the multiple tilts and the base velocities and the storm relative velocities. Like, what are we looking at when you look at all this stuff? So hopefully a lot of this stream will kind of slowly introduce people into storm chasing as well, and introduce them into some of the forecasting tools. Maybe not so much the forecasting tools, but at least the live Doppler tools that people use. And for people, on the weather subreddit who may be just interested in weather but not so much storm chasing, I want to be very quick and go over that storm chasing is not just a bunch of people going out there having fun and trying to see a tornado. That's a lot of what it is. Don't get me wrong. Most times, storm chasers, they love to see severe weather. I love to see a tornado. I've only seen like one or two in my life. Unfortunately, I was in West Liberty, Kentucky, when that city was hit just a year ago in February, or maybe 2 years ago now. But completely leveled that city, and that was a just absolutely devastating experience for me. I know that. But more than just being some crazy guys who want to go out, or women who want to go out and see some storms, storm chasing is all about providing the National Weather Service with information that they can't really see on radar. If I'm looking at this storm, let's just zoom in a little bit on this storm here. I can see this is a pretty bad cell. I got some hail that could be 1.5 inches high, 1.5 inches, and we're actually 1 3/4 inch in diameter. The possibility of hail being 100%, the possibility of severe hail being 80%. So I know that, there's a pretty good chance this storm is producing some fairly large hail. I have storm reports that says, hey, this person here just reported, 20 minutes ago, that storm produced 1 inch hail. I can look at rotation on those cells and say, okay, right now there is no rotation. Or I can say, yes, there is very strong rotation. But what I can't do is I cannot 100% say that there is a tornado on the ground. I can say with pretty good conviction that there is a tornado on the ground at some, not this particular cell, but on a good-looking cell, I can, pretty accurate at saying there is a tornado on the ground, or, it's very close to being a tornado. You guys need to get out. Storm chasers provide that data and make it 100%. Think of it like you've got hills, valleys, mountains, everything else. The radar, it throws data out at a location and it comes back. And from that information is how you see some of these colors show up on the radar. Purple indicating that there's a lot of stuff. When the feed came across here, it hit a lot of stuff before it came back, which indicates maybe some hail. And in a case of a tornado, it could even be debris. But because of the hills, valleys, whatever else, it doesn't reach the ground. I can't say for sure on the ground whether a tornado is on the ground or whether hail is hitting the ground or anything. Storm chasers can get to these cells. They get to do something they love doing, which I'm sure they do. You don't do that unless you love to do it. It costs a lot of money to go storm chasing, and prior to contrary belief, storm chasers don't make any money. It's very rare that storm chasers make a whole lot of money. I'm sure there are some cases out there, but even today with social media really killed the chance of you making some money with storms, because every storm is on YouTube. Everybody has a camera. Everybody has a camcorder. Everybody has YouTube. Everybody has a computer. So information gets uploaded. Then that uploaded information, National Weather Service or CNN or Fox or whoever it be, they reach out to those people and say, hey, can we use this footage? And if you say no, that's fine. They'll find the next video down and ask them if they can use their footage, and somebody will eventually give it up for free. So it's not like the good old days where you just went out with a camcorder and you can make some money off the footage. It doesn't happen too often anymore. If it does happen, it's because you got a really nice camera and you've got some really nice footage. So most of the time, these guys are just doing this on their own. But the whole purpose to them is they follow these cells, and then they report back to National Weather Service on what's happening. Hey, there's a tornado on the ground. There's large hail in excess of this. And then in the disaster situation of a tornado actually hitting a city, those storm chasers are typically first responders. They're typically there before the police and EMS and rescue teams get there. When I was in West Liberty, Kentucky, when that tornado went over, the city was destroyed. I'm talking, this is out in the mountains. I don't mean like in the hills, the foothills, whatever. This is like pretty much the mountains of that region that got really hit bad by a tornado. There were no police, there were no EMS, there was nothing. The whole city was leveled. So that is what I'm talking about, that you really have to keep an eye out. Or storm chasers really help out, and they follow the storms around and give people an advance notice. All right, guys. My apologies. So, anyways, just like I was saying, I actually have a tornado warning. Interesting. We'll follow this out, see what's happening. Just as I was saying, storm chasers don't make money. I don't make money doing this. Unfortunately, I do this for my house. I still have my day-to-day obligations. And being that I'm going to be trying to stream for 6 hours, 7 hours, I have a lot of stuff I got to get done. So I do have to jump away from time to time. Next time, if I didn't have the radar up, I will leave the radar up, and I'm going to leave this message up just to kind of let you know that I will be right back. I just had to step away for a minute. So, tornado warning being posted now for what looks like southeastern Iowa. These are thunderstorms capable of producing a tornado. I'm not as big of a fan of this warning. I feel like this warning gets issued a lot. And while I understand that, yeah, you have to let people know, a lot of people, though, when they hear a tornado warning, even they hear the tornado sirens, nobody's quick to go for cover, and they actually got rid of a lot of that. But guessing this is a thunderstorm capable of producing still severe thunderstorm capable. People in this area and people anywhere, they've been kind of ingrained in it. And I think with the more reports of the media showing you the damage right after it happens, I think that kind of hits home to people a lot more than it used to. But a lot of people, they hear these warnings frequently. They hear these warnings, 4, 5, 6 times a year, and nothing ever happens. The severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is one of those ones where, of course, yeah, there is a chance of a tornado, but chances are also that it's not going to be a severe tornado, and it likely doesn't produce it, and most of the time it doesn't produce. I'm not saying don't take them serious. I'm saying you still got to take these very serious. But I just feel like a lot of people they kind of get in the mode of ignoring these warnings, and it's kind of tedious, getting everything ready to go downstairs and get into a shelter or basement. These are still tornado warnings. You got to take every single tornado warning serious. But in terms of us following these storms, we're not going to put as much emphasis on a storm where it says severe thunderstorm or producing a tornado as you would radar indicated rotation. That means there is rotation, or obviously a confirmed report of a tornado. Those are the ones you really, really, really have to keep an eye out for and take those very, very seriously. I don't care if I'm telling you, hey, the tornado is right here and it's traveling right here. I don't care if you're in Purnell. If I tell you, hey, Purnell's going to head just west or east of Purnell. If you're in Purnell and you're in that warning box, you better get to shelter. I can't tell you how many times people like me and even people like the National Weather Service, not National Weather Service so much, but the Weather Channel, they tell you which way the storm's going to go, and then they turn it an alternate way. They're looking like they're going north-northeast, and all of a sudden they turn due east. Happens very, very frequently, and that's kind of what happened out in El Reno just last year. So if you're in that warning box, take those warnings seriously at all times. They're nothing to play around with. So we'll follow this line of cells there, and this is almost I don't know how many miles this is, but the warnings just aren't quite there. It's looking like what's it called? Derecho, or not quite as long. There's a word for this, and it's just going over my head right now. Do a quick look here. It's like an abbreviation or something. I forget what it's actually called. Let's see if we can find what the actual term for that was. If you have it, you can send it to me on Twitter at WeatherTrek or on Reddit, username DugUp46. And it's not squall line. There's an actual mezzo. I think it starts with an M. I'm struggling with it. Hopefully one of you guys can point it out, because let's see here. Yeah, it's not squall line. I know that's not what I'm looking for. Not bow echoes. There's more to it. Forget what the actual weather term is. That's the kind of stuff that kills me, because I should know this stuff. Somebody did send me a message. You're another follower on Twitter, so appreciate those. And I've been on Twitter now for, I don't know how long, for 5 years, and this is, I've been doing this for 5 years. I don't do these live casts very often, and the whole purpose of my Twitter account is just to provide severe individual storms tornado warnings. This cell right here, again, there's a tornado warning. I just personally don't feel it's severe enough to post on my Twitter account. I pretty much only post what I think to be a very severe tornado event. So something like that, I kind of let that one go, let the National Weather Service handle those ones. It's the ones that, are really bad, like we're going to see, well, hopefully not see, but likely we'll see in Arkansas a little bit later. You can see these storms starting to fire up now in southeast Oklahoma. This is still my guy. This is the one we were following for a really long time. And as I said, it looked like it was going to start to break off and produce a new storm. As time moves on, you can see it did. It started to break off, and the new cell now working behind it. This one will likely continue on, but this one here is going to suck up a lot of that guy's energy. So these two cells, really keep an eye on. And this one here is a new guy. Just kind of popped up over the last, whatever it is, like 15 minutes or so. I guess these are about 15 minutes apart, so maybe the last 45 minutes this guy's popped up, so we'll keep an eye on him. I think these two cells are worse than the one in Iowa. The one in Iowa, you're going to have some very bad wind gusts. You might even see some hail. But it's these storms, these individual cells, you got to really keep a close eye on as they continue to push toward the east a little bit later. Let's see where we're at right now. Everything kind of slow in reports of storm reports. Look like Wamego, is that Kansas? Yeah, Wamego, Kansas, report of 2 inches of rain from those storms that moved through a little bit earlier. So that's a lot of rain, especially out in those flat areas. I can imagine. I'm located just outside of Pittsburgh, so 2 inches of rain here, not as big of a deal. In those flat areas, you get some puddling on the roads and stuff. I can imagine that it probably takes a good toll. It probably stands its ground for a little bit of time. So flash flooding always a concern with those storms, and especially those ones up in Iowa. The flood threat is certainly there with those storms. There was a couple funnel clouds reported with those storms. Pea-size hail. That was at 2010 UTC. Which I'm not sure if that was. Must have been about an hour ago. Let's see if we can get something a little bit more current. That's 2030. So yeah, 2010, about an hour ago. A couple funnel clouds did appear with this cell here. As they continue to push their way north-northeast, Cedar Rapids, you're right into the line of fire for that storm. So Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Certainly want to keep an eye out as these storms continue to push their way north and east right toward you. If you guys know any family, anything up there, tell them to get inside. They got another about, I'd say a little bit less than half an hour. They're going to see a little bit of rain, and then it's going to be pretty windy, I'd imagine. If we look at the base velocity, we should be able to get a pretty good indicator of some of the wind speeds. Looking like 30, 40 knots, so like, maybe 30, 35, 40 mile per hour. So you can see some wind gusts in excess of 60, I'm sure. Keep an eye on that cell, that storm line there as it moves closer to Cedar Rapids here in the next half an hour. And that currently is the only tornado warning being issued. We did have one tornado just a little bit earlier, and that happened in, I believe, southern Arkansas. No, I mean southern Oklahoma. Sorry about that. Let me make sure of that. Storm reports, where are we at? The only tornado report, southern Nebraska actually, northern Kansas was the only storm tornado we've had. It was on the ground for about 3 minutes, so pretty long-lived tornado. Haven't seen any report or anything like that coming out of that one yet, so nothing to worry about right away. With that cell, I'm sure it's clear, it's well gone now. There still is that cell up in Iowa, again, that being the only tornado threat immediately. But it's these 3 cells here. These guys are the ones you want to keep an eye on. If we do get some tornadoes, this is what they're going to look like. They're going to look like these big long cells. You can see some of the outflow, the inflow coming in from right around in here, and then some of the outflow from those. Maybe in producing some hail, as you see in this guy here, he can produce 1 1/4 inch hail. He's been gaining some strength, so certainly keep an eye on this one as this one begins to dissipate. Maybe this one will continue to strengthen. And like I said, this I had a little test broadcast a little bit earlier just to make sure everything was working. These guys here are mesocyclones. This indicating that there is some rotation up in the cloud system. That it's, I believe, vertical rotation. So usually indicating, a possibility of a tornado, just high-level rotation or low-level rotation. With these cells that we're going to be getting today, just with the way the wind's going, the front being very stationary, and that Gulf front coming up, as steep it is going north, we're going to be getting a lot of these mesocyclones today. They're not going to quite hold as much weight for me as they would have, if it's just a little bit less of a when you get the Canadian air moving more east and you get that moving more north, these things won't pop up as much. We're going to be seeing a lot of these. It's going to be really kind of hard to differentiate between what's going on and what's for real and what's not for real. Honestly, I don't know how to read exactly. I don't know how to exactly read all the information on these things, so I tend to ignore them just because for me, I don't know exactly what they mean, and I don't want to put out wrong information. But I believe that's what they are. I believe they're just rotation in the air at different levels, and there's the different colors of these, compared to purple and the red, kind of explain, where that rotation is. I'm looking at the cell here in SOPR, and it's got a little bit of a hook going on to it. Not seeing a whole lot of rotation or anything with it yet, but it's going to be a good one to keep your eye on as that moves through SOPR. And SOPR's been getting pounded with this storm. You can see that single cell started to come up. It started raining hard at 4:33, and then it's been pouring, torrential downpour until about 5, 7, almost an hour now. It's just been an absolute downpour in this area. So, that kind of stuff, you gotta watch out for your flash flooding. And that's what happens when a storm starts to die out and another one starts to appear back behind it. You can get a lot of flash flooding because the one cell moves through and then the one continues to grow and it kind of comes in right behind it. So I'm sure they're getting a lot of rainfall right now. I'm surprised that we haven't seen any flash flooding reports or anything like that yet. We can look at the total rainfall. Yeah, and you can see some of those storms back behind you. You're looking at 2 inches, 2-3 inches of rain. So that's a good bit of rainfall in a short amount of time. You're talking only like an hour or maybe 2 hours from those storms. So very heavy rainfall as those storms push forward as single cells. Tornado warning in Iowa still active. It's still got another 20 minutes left. I don't see the National Weather Service extending this one. They're probably going to cut this one short. I would be surprised if they didn't cancel this. I couldn't see them letting it sit there for another 20 minutes, so I'd imagine here in the next 5 minutes they're probably going to cut this one out, and then we'll be tornado warning free for the time being. Give me a quick minute to jump on Reddit, see if I get any messages. I'm trying to get back through these people. So there's a new storm spotting. Understand total such streams interesting. Yeah, I see that. I think the chatting idea would be really nice. Given on rocks here, does this mean we can pretty much expect strong violent tornadoes last past dark? We're looking at for most of the afternoon. That was regarding the severe, the Storm Prediction Center giving out the particularly dangerous situation. Okay, again, I'll run back through that, and what that means is that there is a very high chance of, or at least a high chance of strong tornadoes, EF2 plus. And that's a big difference. There's a difference between a tornado and an EF2 tornado. A tornado, EF0, EF1, it'll rip the shingles off a house. EF2 tornado will destroy a house. So it's very important that you take these warnings and watches seriously. So we go back to that warning. You see the tornado chance is high and the chance of an EF2 tornado is high. So if there's a warning and you're in this area, you need to take that very seriously. And there is the text. We finally got to the text. A particularly dangerous situation. Numerous tornadoes expected with a few intense tornadoes likely. Tornado watch area. That's pretty much all it says. But yeah, that is going until 11 o'clock tonight. I don't know if the storm's going to be around quite that long, but for you guys, I wouldn't be going to sleep. I don't care if you got work tomorrow or whatever else. If you got to work early in the morning, stay up an extra couple hours tonight. Make sure you're up until 9, 10, 11 o'clock and follow these cells, because this is certainly a night where if you're in central Arkansas, you don't want to be going to sleep at 6 or 7 p.m. because you got to work at 4 in the morning or whatever. You want to follow these cells tonight. It's sleeping. These late night tornadoes, if they do occur, that's the worst possible situation. When you get these tornadoes at night. So I would certainly keep an eye on these tornadoes as they continue to pop up and grow and expand over the next few hours and into this evening. So right now I have 5:14 Eastern time. It's only 4:15 Central time. The heating is really happening, and we're going to start seeing more of those cells start to really pop up. Hopefully, we don't see any tornadoes, hitting any cities. I'd like to see a tornado just as much as every chaser, but I think that everybody can agree that as a chaser, you want to see these tornadoes hit big, open, wooded areas with a wide open view where you can see it from a safe distance. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. And that's why we're here. We're here to provide the information as quickly as we can and get it brought back out to you guys. So yeah, with those PDS warnings or PDS watches, PDS watch. With a PDS watch, a particularly dangerous situation, you really do need to keep your eye on the storm development. Keep your eye on the radar feeds. Keep your eye on programs like mine, if they're even out there. It's kind of interesting because I saw, and the reason that this all kind of came around is I saw a lot of people talking not only on not only on the lost my train of thought. Storm chasing. Not only on the storm chasing subreddit, but on the weather subreddit, somebody actually brought up the question of, are there any streams out there for like live broadcasting of shows? And there's really not that I can think of, that provide severe weather event like this. So I wanted to kind of be the first and, throw my services out there, and we'll see. We do now have a tornado warning. That tornado warning is for Choctaw and Pushmatawa counties in Oklahoma. This is that storm I've been following. I've followed it for the last, you guys know, the last hour or so. Pretty much as soon as this broadcast started, I started following the cell. I told you it had a chance of going tornadic. Tornado warning now being issued. It's a severe thunderstorming with strong low-level rotation that could produce a tornado. So you can see these guys right here, and again, it goes back into these mesocyclones, which I told you I was going to turn them off, and now I'm going to turn them back on. The purple is indicating that there is some severe level rotation with these cells. See what I'm showing with a storm relative velocity. I'm not showing a whole lot there. It's kind of a mess right now. Go to the base velocity. I'm not showing a whole lot there either. No, so I'm not seeing any rotation immediately right away, but it's certainly worth keeping an eye on. And I just had a feeling, just the way that cell was looking when it was, when it was back here in Dodge City and in Honeygrove, I had a feeling that storm could produce, and I still do. Even though this isn't indicating a tornado right away, for me at least, it's certainly the best looking cell to produce a tornado since we've had since the broadcast starting now about an hour ago. So we're going to keep a close eye on that cell and follow that as it moves on. That should be something I should probably broadcast out, and I may just do that. Spelling some of these counties, man, I tell you. Choctaw. Let's go ahead and post that one out there. How's it? Choctaw. Pushmataha. See if we can find some cities. Pickens being 45 minutes out and being a county that's not under a warning immediately. That's a good city to pinpoint out. Ratton is another one. So we'll post those out there. I'm not going to quite have the room to do that. So I'm just going to leave it at the OKWX right now and send that one out. But one thing that I do with all of my storms, and I suggest that if you're going to track these storms, or if you want to do something similar on a Twitter account or whatever other social media you guys use, I timestamp them 4:17 Central Time. The reason I do that is because I can't tell you how many times I've looked up tornadoes or tornado warnings, and I see things that are 6 hours old but are at the top of the news feed, and they look like they're just now happening. It causes way too much confusion. It's 6 characters. It's certainly worth, and it could be 7 characters depending. You get to 3 times in the CT and the space there. It's worth doing it. It avoids a lot of confusion when people are reading your tweets and knowing whether they need to seek shelter or not. So I just feel like it's invaluable just to do that. Again, we're looking at this cell here in Choctaw, Oklahoma. Cells moving northeast, relatively slow. We got B4, 32 miles per hour. So not the fast-moving cells as we were originally thinking, with upwards of 60 miles per hour. That may happen a little bit later. You could see 50 mile per hour storms moving through. So there is some low-level rotation. Doesn't have that classic hook, but they don't need to. They don't always need to have that classic hook to produce. And you can see what I was talking about. That one cell, the only spot I was wrong at, and I was wrong. At this time, I anticipated this cell to die out, and I anticipated this cell to continue to grow. What happened was this cell actually got its momentum back and took all the intensity from this one and kind of sucked it right back up and produced like kind of a supercell. You can see here, this one starts to die out, and now this one here is really strong. This guy here, dying out a little bit. So interesting that that's the way it happened. I would have had this one kind of gaining some momentum, and this one sucking out and eventually dying. Just the opposite happened, and that's just one more thing that I learn every day. So still the same thing. Even though you click on a warning text and it gives you these warning texts, and you can read that warning text on a cell phone or whatever else, when they issue a warning text, they will update those warning texts. So just because you read it once and it says the severe thunderstorm with low-level rotation, check back to it every 5 minutes or so to see if a tornado has been reported. They will post that, those kind of updates a lot of the time with those cells, so it's worth keeping an eye on each in particular cell as it moves on. I'm going to jump off here, grab a drink real quick, as I'm following a severe weather threat event for much of Arkansas today. It's a particularly dangerous situation out there. If you guys know friends, family, make sure you let them be aware of what's going on. Hopefully things unfold just right, but at least we have resources out there to allow us to prepare and be ready for this kind of stuff. So I'm going to jump off here for 1 minute. I'll be right back after I go grab a drink. Okay, dokie. Got the audio back up. Um, again, just want to give everybody a quick thanks for watching. I'm up over 30 viewers now. I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting like 2 or 3 people. I was just it's more for fun than actually, be serious about it. But it's great that people are interested. It's great that people love weather, and I hope that everybody shares an interest as much as I do for these storms. You guys can follow me on Twitter. The Twitter account is @WeatherTrek, and that's @WeatherTrek. Send me messages on there. Follow me. Send me messages. I'll be posting these kind of warnings as frequently as I can. And you can always send me a message on Reddit, and the user account is DogUp46. You can send me a message directly on there, or you can click on the link to Severe Weather live stream and post comments there. I think we have most people in the storm chasing subreddit really getting on board here and leaving me a lot of comments. That's great because you follow a lot of those around. I did want to post it out here. If anyone's on a Mac and wants a decent program to use, he suggests Radar Lab HD Plus. It's really good. Yeah, for a chat feature, I'm sure an IRC channel would be easy to set up. I did not even think about, honestly, didn't even think about having a number of people on here watching, so I didn't think it was going to be that, that popular. But I'm glad it is. It's great. I'm having a great time with it so far. I hope you guys are having a fun time watching it and listening to it. But you can always send me a message on there if you just post a comment right on the thread itself, or you can reply back, or you can see my user account right up there. You can send me a message on there to get in touch with me. If there's anything I could be doing better, if there's anything else you guys want to see, whatever it is, let me know. I can adjust the show on the fly. I don't have anything written down, nothing scripted here. I'm just kind of shooting from the hips. It's no idea. I did have a TPS warning up in Iowa State here. You can see it's a triangle, upside down triangle, that indicates that it is a radar indicated tornado. Not always accurate. Just because it's saying it's a tornado doesn't mean it is. In this case, I don't believe it is. We look at our base velocity, we look at our storm relative velocity. I don't see anything here that's indicating a tornado. So nothing too serious there. That's tornado warning. They actually extended it. They moved it, I think. It was here, and they moved it up. That's right towards Cedar Rapids. So I'm sure Cedar Rapids right now, you're under tornado warning. Seek shelter, guys. These storms will be heading right in your way here in the next 20 minutes or so. Seek shelter if you're in Cedar Rapids. I know that's a bigger city. Yeah, it's a really big city, actually. And just outside even the suburbs of Cedar Rapids, you're actually seeing that, well, never mind. It's just about downtown now. It's like maybe less than 10 minutes out of downtown Cedar Rapids. So even the southwestern suburbs, you guys are seeing that storm right now. Seek shelter. Seek shelter. If you live in Choctaw or Pushmatawa County, you certainly need to seek shelter. This storm's bad. It doesn't look good. It's bad. And even right now that I don't see a tornado right now, and now it looks like the cell could be dying out. This has happened a couple times with the cell. It's kind of died out and come back and died out and come back. So certainly keep your eye on this storm. If you live in Pickens or Honobia, crazy city names. Keep your eye on this cell as it continues to track its way northeast. It's for Pickens right now, it's only maybe half an hour away. You're going to get some heavy rain, some heavy hail even. And then the possible tornado could follow after that. So, and that's kind of one discussion I had on here a little bit earlier. Somebody posted up on Reddit and said that typically those tornadoes they happen with no rain, no wind, no warning, and they kind of come, and that's usually the case. The thing that's a little bit worse tonight, or even this evening, is that these storms are pushing so far northeast and so far north. The more northerly they get, the more of a chance that you are going to see some really bad hail and some everything else. And then if you're standing inside your living room and you're watching this and you're like, "Nah, this is bad. We're in a tornado warning. I'm just going to here watch the storm." You see the hail, you see everything else. Everything could stop, and it may be dead for 5 minutes or so, and then a tornado follows right behind that. That would be the worst case scenario, and we could see that today and this evening with these kind of storms. especially the ones that move more northerly than eastern. Right now it's not too bad, but the ones in that kind of a northerly flow direction, those are ones you got to be really careful about, because you will have that storm and rain and hail, all the fun stuff that people think of when they think of storms. They think, oh yeah, so, it's great to check, take pictures of the hail and everything, but then it's going to stop, clear up, and then a tornado could happen. So very, very important that these tornado warnings today are taken very seriously across Arkansas, Oklahoma, up in Iowa now, Missouri. Take these warnings seriously. See, you got some more small storms here trying to fire up. Got this storm here. This guy's been going on for quite a while now. He has a severe thunderstorm warning attached to him, but a lot of cluster storms going on. Nothing looked like it's going to develop immediately. The tornado warning Iowa that was extended until 5:45, they did just cancel that. So right now the only tornado warning we have is this cell that I've been following for the last hour and a half now. Probably a good hour before the tornado warning even took place. This is the cell that caught my eye a little bit earlier, and it's still pushing. Especially if it continues to push down, and these two cells here merge up, you can see that echo start to try to form, and this cell certainly could produce. So keep an eye on this cell as it moves on. I'm gonna hurry up and jump over to Twitter, see if anything's happening over there, see what updates I have. Got a Frappuccino post from Starbucks. Storm moving out of Atlanta. There's my Dominator post. Reed Timber, the man, posting up saying he's got some track on that storm that I was looking at here in Oklahoma. Hopefully I could see it. But he is tracking that storm down here in Hugo, and the website I'm on is tvnweather.com, tvnweather.com, and that's Reed Timmer, probably the face of storm chasing. You can go in there and jump on tvnweather.com and follow him around. I'm having a little bit of trouble finding it. Maybe his stream isn't up immediately, but he's on that storm down there in Hugo as it continues to push its way northeast. Outside of that, nothing else too much happening right now on Twitter. We'll jump over to Reddit, do a quick update there. Got a couple posts, WA posts. Yeah, I appreciate it. And then I got XOYOUNS here. Give me some props. Saying you just use Weather Underground and browse around there. Got some homework to do, so he's usually just sticking around to Weather Underground. Wonderground.com. They have some great radar tools for free. They really do. Not a bad system at all. Very similar to the Gibson range. You just lose kind of the flow of how responsive the program is compared to that website. I love this program. I think it's very responsive. I love to use it, and it just provides just a little bit better. But yeah, the Wonderground radar site, it's great that he mentions that, because it is a great radar streaming site. Provides many of the same features that you see here, just a little bit clunkier because it's web-based, but it does have the GPS overview where you can zoom in and see the in particular streets and cities and all that. So, good point out there. I do like that software as well. It's not bad, especially if you're on a budget and you don't have whatever $100 to throw at this program, and then pay an ongoing cost of $10 a month. Wonderground's a great site to go to, and luckily for me, I've had Gibson Range for a few years, and after you buy it once, you get all the upgrades for free. I believe they're all free. You may have to pay after a certain amount of time, but just for the price, I think this is certainly the way to go. So, as I said, I appreciate everybody watching. So we're still up over 30 viewers, and that's great. It's great stuff. So hopefully I can do this a little bit more often for you guys, and it's kind of just a sample to see if people were interested, and it seems that people are, so it's awesome. Still tracking this one storm. This is the only tornado warning we have now. The one up in Iowa has been canceled out. This storm becoming a little bit less organized. It's becoming a little bit disorganized now as it continues to head its way up toward Pickens. If you're going to see a tornado, you start to see something kind of bone out there, but start to see some of that red. Again, I wanted to point out to people who are new, you have green here, you have red up here, green down here. This is winds that are moving toward the radar site, which is right here, KSRX. Winds moving toward it, and you have winds that are moving away. So this indicating that all these winds are pushing toward it, but this little red here is kind of pushing away. This, to me, at least, not indicating a tornado, even though it does have a little bit of a hook to it. What I believe is happening is that this storm is taking in air from right here, so you're having your inflow right up in here, producing your hail and your heavy rains, and then down here your outflow being out toward here. This is kind of where you get your little bit of a spinning there, so certainly worth keeping your eye out on that cell. Be right back. I'm going to jump off for just a moment. I should be back here within the next 30 seconds or so. Alrighty, so I'm on dog watching duty here, so I had to keep jumping away for just a minute, checking the pup outside, make sure he's doing all right. So what I was saying earlier, you can see that little bit of red there. Usually when you have a tornado, you can see it's already starting to fade out. Usually when you have a tornado, you'll see really light reds all the way up in here, and you'll see really light greens really close together. When those get pushed together, that's really indicating that there is some strong rotation. This right now, the little bit of red that we saw before, right back in here, again, every cell, it needs to take in air, it needs to kind of throw air back out. So right now, what I thought was happening, which probably is the case, is that little bit of red you see is that storm sucking in air right in this area, sucks in the air, and throws it back out up in here, and that's how you get your hail and heavy rains and everything else. But right in here is where it's kind of sucking in the air. It's not uncommon to stand right here and looking at a cell and have wind pushing your back. It'll actually be pushing you towards the storm. Sometimes the inflow can get that that strong on some of these cells. We'll look at the composite reflectivity here and kind of see the different layers of everything, and indicating there is some hail, and there's a 1.5 inch covered the ground, mostly nickel and quarter size. So that's some pretty big hail. That was in Pushmataha County in the city of Rattan. So strong hail like that is certainly, you don't really indicate hail as being as big of a threat as a tornado, but I've been a few places. Xenia, Ohio was out for a chase just a couple years ago. And some of the hail out there, man, I saw like not quite baseballs, but I'd say much larger than ping pong, maybe like tennis ball size hail. And it does a lot of damage. It saw completely tear down siding on homes, just completely bust out car windows, and do a lot of damage to vehicles. So hail probably does more damage per year than tornadoes, because hail happens pretty much all over the country, where tornadoes mostly stick to your central plains and Dixie Alley. As we still wait for some of these storms to fire up, let's see if I can jump in here, show you guys a quick map of when, a lot of people, you'll hear them talk about Tornado Alley, Dixie Alley, a lot of those things. Tornado Alley is, all of your central plains mostly, anything from southern South Dakota, but Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, even toward Dallas, and so this whole area up here. Dixie Alley is pretty much the second largest area you'll see tornadoes. That's Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee. Some even in southern Kentucky, you'll see a lot of tornadoes up in there. Most tornadoes are going to occur in this area here. They're going to occur right down here in Dixie Alley, and then up into Kentucky, southwest Ohio, southern Indiana, Illinois. You'll see a lot of tornadoes in this area as well. So pretty much if you could draw a big, boot almost right around this area, that's where you see a lot of your tornadoes at, and at least two of the three regions. I'm sure this area up here has a tornado term for it too, but I'm unfamiliar with it. It's sad because I lived in Columbus, and it's where I used to track all my storms at. Mike Bitts saying he's closely monitoring the storms firing up on northeast Arkansas, may pursue them. He's looking at these guys up in here. Okay. I think he's just like, he's not in a great spot. I don't with all the clusters here. These could fire up. I mean, they could. But man, this is the place to be. It's right down in here. As these storms continue to move on, you're going to see a lot of really nice cells fire up in northeast Texas. That's the spot to be. I just have such a big problem with the Weather Channel. I despise the Weather Channel to a whole nother level. I feel like they overpropagate storms and they make weather look like it's a lot worse than it is, which is not a good thing, because people stop taking you serious when you start doing that kind of stuff. And other than Greg Forbes, now if you watch him on the Weather Channel, that guy knows his business. He knows he's good. I mean, in my opinion, at least, he's really good. He knows exactly what's going on. Just got a problem with the other guys on the Weather Channel. AccuWeather, I love them. I love watching AccuWeather. I love watching their little news stories they do. I feel like their meteorologists have a really good handle on events and what's be going on. They don't base everything around Greg Forbes because he is good. They posted that warning back up here in Iowa again. North tornado warning. I do have a TVS. So let's take a look at the base velocity. You can see the cells are moving out really good. Not necessarily indicative of a tornado or anything like that, but when you get those big boas like you have here, and then you start to get those like little sub-boas out of that, you do get a lot of rotation with those storms, and you can see a tornado. Usually not a very strong one, usually not a very long-lived one, but it is certainly a possibility when you see those big boas and you start to see those little guys come out like you do here. You can see the storms coming out. The actual line of storms, is right here. Pretty much, it's got a nice curve to it. It's uniform. You look at the base velocity, it kind of comes down and it swoops back up and around. So when you start to get those big boas within boas, you can see some rotation. You can see some tornadoes. Not as serious as, very serious. Again, if you have warning, take cover. But not as serious as some of these storms out here in Oklahoma, and this guy here is really starting to fire up now. Where's he at? He's had a warning going for quite some time, but he looks like he might be gaining some strength. He'll be certainly worth keeping an eye on. This guy here hasn't been doing much. He's just been kind of doing his thing since the last hour and a half or so. He hasn't really fired up a whole lot, just kind of moving around at his own pace. It's these guys down in here, you've got to keep a close eye on these as they continue to progress. They can gain strength and they can have some pretty bad tornadoes with them, so we'll keep a close eye on those. Other than that, those are the only two tornado warnings that went up in Iowa. and the one down here in Oklahoma still. This one in Oklahoma expires at 6 o'clock. That's 15 more minutes. It's going to be a tough call on whether to extend this one or not. Probably not from what I'm seeing right now. I just don't see the rotation levels and the organization that was there 20 minutes ago. So I'd be kind of surprised if they extend it, but that could all change depending on what the cell does here in the next 15 minutes on whether to extend that or not. Try to jump back on Reddit here again real quick. And appreciate you guys for upvoting that thread and making it the top news on storm chasing. I don't know if I'm the top on weather as well, but it's pretty awesome. Nah, wow, I'm like way down there now. Need some people upvoting that guy, get him up top. But it's pretty awesome. It's great that I'm able to do this for you guys, and something I love doing. So we'll check on the meso discussions. We do have one here in northern Mississippi. Storms could produce a threat for large hail, perhaps a couple tornadoes. Areas being closely monitored for a weather watch. See if they have one yet. No, they don't. They don't. So this area they're talking about right down here, they're going to be closely following. Was that northern Louisiana I was looking at? Oh wow, all the way out toward Mississippi. So they're closely monitoring some of these storms out here in northern Mississippi, as you can see, like these guys here. As these guys start to fire up, they may post a tornado watch in this area as well shortly. So keep your eye out if you're in northern Mississippi as well. That guy there, he keeps doing his own thing. He keeps trying. Severe risk may increase late this afternoon. So now they're talking also southern or central Louisiana all the way to, I'm guessing New Orleans is right around in here. Most central, I guess that's central Louisiana. I'm not sure. I don't know what you call that. Kind of taking a diagonal line of eastern Louisiana and southwest Louisiana all the way up to eastern Louisiana. Talking about some storms possibly firing up there later in the day as things start to develop more. So right now the big tornado threat happening in Pushmata, I feel like that's still your best look right now at a single cell. 65 mile per hour wind gusts, yeah, it's pretty big. Those storms have moved through Cedar Rapids. Cedar Rapids right there. I'm surprised we don't have any storm reports coming out. No thunderstorm wind gusts or anything like that. A lot of people reporting, damage to buildings and trees and everything like that. So, this line of storms here, nothing to mess around with. I see a lot of tornadoes being reported. A gust NATO. Tornado touchdown observed, house roofs torn off, trees snapped off. And those were happening in Iowa as these storms moved through. So this storm certainly has a history of producing. And that's why I said, when you get those echoes instead of echoes, they do produce, and usually they're not like your EF2s or nothing like that, but even an EFO or an EF1, they can still produce some damage. As you see here, house roofs torn off and trees snapped off. If that is the case, and that was reported by a trained spotter, certainly worth taking these tornado warnings very seriously. And even if you're in a severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado could always approach and appear. So even severe thunderstorm warnings, you got to keep your eye out when you're in these areas. Still just following the storm for right now. I'm going to jump back into Storm Prediction Center, see what we have posted up. Still posted up that particularly dangerous situation, PDS warning, PDS watch. See Mike Bettis there taking a picture of some storms out near Miami, Oklahoma. That's neat looking pic. Where we at? Storm Prediction Center. Here we go. Take a look at our mesos. They're all basically the same. Mesoscale discussions for people who are new to storm chasing. And Storm Prediction Center is probably your best resource ever. You can go on the Storm Chasing subreddit, and that's /r/storm chasing on Reddit. People give you 1,000 resources, but none is better than spc.noaa.gov when it comes to weather. Information they provide is just fantastic. And you get everything from the current watches to the convective outlooks. The convective outlooks are kind of days ahead in what to expect. Mesoscale discussions, and that's what we're looking at here. These are kind of what the meteorologists are talking about. They'll highlight an area, talk about it, and if they deem it, like it could get bad, then they'll post watches up. So this is usually before a watch, you'll get a mesoscale discussion. But every mesoscale discussion does not turn into a watch. So just because it's there doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. They're just monitoring that area with a little bit more intensity than other areas. And the convective outlooks kind of gives you an eye on your day ahead and what to expect. This is the day 1, which is today. See much of that slide area across much of Miami there, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, and the high area in southern Arkansas. You can highlight over a tornado. You can see a 30% chance of tornado and a 10% chance of an EF2 or EF5 tornado. So most of your wind damage is going to be up in northern Missouri and Iowa, which we're seeing with those strong bow echoes, and hail damage across much of Arkansas. I'll step away for one more quick second. We'll keep an eye on these storms as they develop and fire up. Seems a little bit slow of a start, but hey, that's not bad. If I sit here and ramble about just a couple of storms for the rest of the day, that'd be fine as well. So we will keep an eye on them though, and I'll provide those updates as soon as they come across the screen. Okay, and we're back. We're following some storms up in Nebraska right now. Those storms happening. What the hell is that? A dust storm. Wow, that's different. I don't think I've ever seen a warning for a dust storm. Zero visibility. We're following this cell up here in Nebraska. This is heading toward Polk, Nebraska. If we look at our base velocity, you can see I would assume that there is a tornado. It's very likely in this area. So if we look back at our base radar, somewhere right in here, likely to be a tornado on the ground. If it's not on the ground, it is certainly rotating very low level. So this storm in particular, I do care about this one. I don't have a good direction. It looks like it's heading due north. Just got the latest feed. That's still the same. Yeah, this is a bad cell. I'm gonna go ahead and post that one on the Twitter account. I feel like that's valuable information there. So let's do that. 4:48 Central Time. Radar indicated a rotation near Polk, heading toward, what was that city? Silver Creek. Silver. Was it one word or two? Let's see, or 2 words. Areas in between. Radar indicated rotation near Polk, Nebraska, heading towards Silver Creek, Nebraska. Areas in between these cheeks shelter now a serious storm. NEWX used up all my characters. It's a beautiful post right there. So we'll let them, let those people in that area know what to be on the lookout. The one down here in Oklahoma looks like it just lost its tornado warning. So right now, the one in Nebraska, the only one being a tornado warning, and it does look like it could be. It doesn't look like it's producing just quite yet, but it looks like it's there is a lot of rotation with it, and it looks like it could produce. So not your classic supercell with the hook echo and all that nonsense, but it does look like a very strong storm, and it does look like there is some rotation. If we go back to that base velocity again, you zoom out, your greens are coming toward your radar site and your reds are going away from it. So all this wind is going out, this stuff is coming back down. When you start to see these really sharp colors, this is indicating you got some very strong winds moving north, and you have some weak winds going south. So there is some rotation in the storm. That's a counterclockwise too. It's interesting. So you would imagine that storm producing counterclockwise, which is very rare. Not to say it doesn't happen. Another tornado warning just now being produced out of Arkansas. It's that one cell that just hasn't been doing all too lot. It's now trying to, and you can see that it's got a better organization to it. You got the big storm up here. You got the hook echo coming down. Like our base velocities, I'm not seeing any tornado right now immediately. The storm relative velocity, I'm not seeing anything immediately there. Not to say that it couldn't. The warning indicating that it's a thunderstorm capable of producing. So again, just another one of the storms where it could produce, hasn't produced yet, but it's like a little bit better organized. Not quite what you want to see in a cell, but like a little bit better organized, and could certainly produce a tornado. But right now, the one I'm really keeping an eye on is this one up here in Nebraska. Just about the tornado area being just about 45 minutes away from or half an hour away from Silver Creek. The storm itself may be only 15 minutes away from Silver Creek. So if you're living in Silver Creek, Nebraska, or any area between Polk, Stromsburg, Clarks, Silver Creek, if you're in those areas, you need to get underground. This storm is a serious storm. If anybody knows anybody in those areas, call them up, tell them to get underground. It's pretty bad. It could certainly develop further. It doesn't have that classic look to it, but you can see right here when you start to get this green coming out and you've got the red mixed right in with it. Probably a little bit further north, it's probably like in this area right here. This could be a tornado, and it looks like it could be a backwards one, which is, like I said, very rare, but they do occur. Usually you see the hook echo on this side. It's looking more like it could be over here. So we'll keep an eye on the storm reports on this cell, because this one's looking pretty bad right now. Certainly the best looking, on a level of organization, it's not the best looking cell we've seen today. Probably that one down in Oklahoma has been. But in terms of rotation, this has certainly been the best cell that we've seen all day. And it's heading straight for Silver Creek. And trying to get some radar look on satellite look on Silver Creek. Wow, that's a really interesting creek or river running through there. It's interesting. That's crazy looking. Silver Creek is a small city, but that storm is heading straight for downtown. So, got to keep an eye on this one and wish the best for the people. Right now, it's kind of hitting some wide open farmland, and that's, not saying, hey, I want to see it hit farms. I do not want to hit a tornado to see it hit anything, but at least farms, it's not people's lives. So, much better that they produce out here than downtown some major city. Jump back into my base velocity. Still seeing rotation up in that cloud, and even the storm velocity indicating there is some rotation there. So this cell, certainly, like I said, certainly the best looking cell that we've seen all day. We're keeping a close eye on that one. Got a couple people, I want to say a person retweeted me and favorited my tweet, and that was from my Choctaw County in Oklahoma. I appreciate that. I like when people retweet and things like that, because it makes me know not only am I being read, but people are also spreading the message out and trying to get out to more people, which is a fantastic thing. And usually there are people who live in those areas, so all the better. Can't ask for anything more than that. A quick thanks from South Arkansas. Absolutely. Yeah, and like Beard said, it looked like the Iowa warning had a confirmed tornado, and it did. I saw that there's actually a couple tornadoes produced with that cell. So I think we're somewhere in the neighborhood of, and there's even a couple here. These are ones from earlier. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of four tornadoes today, 3 tornadoes. Jump back, click on storm reports, check it out. So far there's been 6. A lot from that same Iowa cell. Franklin, Nebraska. I wonder if that's this cell right here. Upland. I don't know where Upland is. Let me load up my city files here, or my county files. Where are we at? Where are we at? Come on, where are we at? County names. Franklin. I'm not seeing a Franklin here. That's Polk. So Franklin, that's down here. That's that one. That's the earliest one. They go newer as I go down. Wow, I'm dumb. So the newest one being in Bradshaw, York, touchdown just recently. Bradshaw, York. Yep, that's this guy here. So this guy did go tornadic, and the radar indicated that it was looking like it. And it still looks like it could be. Just that really strong rotation and with this cell. The storm velocity even showing us 2 colors matching up pretty close together. Not horrible, but it is there. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the tornado was still on the ground. That one heading toward Yellow Creek or Silver Creek. New tornado warning now posted up for Arkansas. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is where things start getting interesting. We're going to be busy. as these storms continue to produce and develop a little bit more. Not seeing a whole lot here yet, but this guy up here, I mean, he's getting there. He's working it up. What's he looking like? Yeah, he is certainly trying. There's a TVS marker down this one. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a tornado or something close to it. So let me go ahead and add back in my city names. Take back off my county names for now. Being right along the interstate, I'm going to go ahead and post a message up for London, Piney, and Knoxville on the Twitter account. So what it's all about is posting this stuff on Twitter, letting people know. London, Piney, what's my other one here? Knoxville. So I'm going to go ahead and post that. Just kind of get some more news out there. That cell looking like it doesn't have the rotation just yet, but it just looks like it could. The way it just looks, it just has that look to it to where if a tornado did happen, I wouldn't be too surprised. Now this one down here is now giving me a TVS, and maybe something up in here. I don't see too much just yet. Not to say there's not one. I don't, not the best at analyzing this data, but this one here doesn't look like there is one just quite yet, but it is giving me a TVS marker indicating that there is one. So wouldn't be surprised by what it looks coming down with this echo down here. Could be a tornado on the ground towards Briggsville, Rover. I'm going to go ahead and post that one as well. Just since there's so many cities there. Briggsville, Rover. That's going to be heading up toward Danville. And Corinth. I do want to post the time again, 6:10 Central Time. I always like posting the time up there just to make sure I avoid any confusion so people know. This is where things start getting interesting. That's that time of the day. The one up in Nebraska is still living on. It looked like it had some rotation. It still looks like it has rotation to it. And then it looks like it has a lot better rotation than the ones even down in Arkansas right now. So it's worth keeping an eye on. This is now it's less than half an hour away from Silver Creek. Half an hour marker is right here. So it's less than half an hour, maybe 20 minutes away from Silver Creek. And what's bad about this one is it looks like, if there is a tornado here, it could be rain wrapped. I wouldn't be surprised. Thunderstorm for Hamilton County canceled. Let's see, tornado warning remains in effect. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a radar indicator rotation. There's still nothing confirmed yet on this guy. I did see that one storm report. I believe it is this storm. So although I don't have anything yet showing a storm report here, I would say that I believe there is a tornado reported with this storm as it heads up towards Silver Creek. We'll keep a really close eye on it. It still looks like there is rotation. Looks like a long-lived, long-tracked tornado. It looks like it could be rain-wrapped. It will be certainly rain-wrapped today as it's heading up towards. So, nothing good news there at all. No good news at all. These guys down here, capable of producing and capable of producing. Nothing quite yet happening as these move over the interstate here toward Fort Smith and Little Rock. whatever interstate that is. These cells are going to move up toward that way momentarily. That is I-40. So I-40 between Little Rock and Fort Smith, man, that'd be a rocky drive right now. I wouldn't want to be on the highway, I'll tell you that. Pretty much all day today. These storms are going to continue to fire up and head right in this area and fire up even back in here and hit up a lot of southern Arkansas as the day moves on. Do a quick social media check, see where I'm at with everything. Got a quick there from Masta saying I'm doing a good job, keep it up, appreciate it. Jump back on Reddit, see if anybody's said anything on there recently. Do have something going on. Oh, thank you, appreciate that. Has anybody ever told me I sound like Billy Bob Thornton? No, I don't. Nobody's ever told me I sound like Billy Bob Thornton. That's interesting. Need to, geez. If I leave this up or take them back down. I'm gonna leave them up, but I do appreciate it. I will keep a closer eye on it. And he is right. I posted 6:08 and 6:10. I'm stuck here in Eastern time, and I'm posting in Central time, so it's a little bit confusing for me. I left them up. I'm gonna leave this post up for now. Hopefully, people get the idea and understand where I'm coming from. But I will certainly keep a closer eye on those posts. Where are we at here? So back up, we got 20 comments going. Yeah, got a little live thread going on into the Reddit storm chasing, and that's reddit.com/r/storm chasing or reddit.com/r/weather. Storm chasing is a lot more fun. It's a much better subreddit. Sorry, weather. Sorry, storm chasing is better. It is fact. Guys on there, just great weather knowledge being shared on that website every day, and it's a good time. Just now issued us a tornado warning here in Mississippi. Not seeing anything right away indicating anything, but we will keep an eye on this storm as it moves northeast as well. The two big ones we want to get really close on are these cells here in central Arkansas. Take a quick break, be right back here in just a couple of moments, and we'll continue tracking these storms and the new tornado warnings being issued every couple minutes now, it seems. So we'll follow that up and we'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back here following a storm, the storm that went tornadic down in Mississippi. Well, at least a tornado warning. Radar indicating that there is a tornado. Let's take a look back here. You can start to see, it's kind of hard to see. But this area here, I'm a little bit concerned still. Some lighter, really light green. Some right beside it. The storm velocity radar is not going to show you a whole lot either, other than the sharp pinks and some of the red and greens in there as well. So that storm now just kind of died out, but it was here. It's now still here. Could be a tornado. It's certainly possible. That's heading toward Lambert Marks. I'm going to go ahead and post up pretty much all these cities along the side of here, but Lambert Marks, they need to get alrighty. 525. Remember, post at 525. And that's Lambert. CH. That's a weird name. And that storm is tracking northeast at 30 mile per hour. I'll make sure to get that out there now. Looks like it could be a bad storm. 525. That's correct. Little Rock weather reports that reporting power outages near Pope, and that's going to be this tornado warning here, I believe. They're reporting power outages in that area, so indicating that there could have been a tornado, could be a tornado. Is that this one here? I have to jump back to my panels and bring up my county names. Yellow County, London. London is, I believe, where the power outages are being reported. So that's from that last cell. It's just now finishing up moving through. We jump back, you can see that cell right there. That cell indicating that there may have been a tornado. So we'll see if we can, yeah, maybe possibly. Doesn't look like it was anything too bad, but I would say certainly possible. There could have been, certainly possibly, there could have been a tornado there. So these cells continue to push their way northeast around 40, 50 mile per hour now. So they are starting to speed up a little bit more than what we've seen previously. This guy down here in Mississippi, he's got my interest right now still. Don't see any of the rotation right now. It's kind of in this one dead spot that I'm getting. So it's kind of tough for me to see, but the area here in Quitman, Marks, Lambert, I don't know, those are county names? Oh, they are. So Marks and Lambert. Marks looks like it could be a larger city too. Let's see what we're looking at. Try to zoom in a little bit, get a little bit more clear on the satellite imagery. There we go. Okay, so it is a smaller town, but it is still a town, and you don't want to see anything like this hit this area. So anywhere from here to here, and it's looking pretty much where that storm wants to track. And maybe it'll track a little bit further north, up north toward Boline. Just have to wait and see. Wait and see as the storm push on. But that storm does look pretty bad. So jump back into Arkansas. They have one tornado warning going on there. I'm not seeing an immediate rotation with that storm. But we will keep an eye on it. And we still have this one back here in Nebraska. Tornado warning, tornado reported, touchdown just south of Silver Creek. Storm is really slowing down. The tornado warning has just expired. From the way it looks, they won't extend it, but it's always possible. I'm trying to look at anything that would indicate that they will, but I'm not thinking. So this is that one I was just telling you about, the Polk County one. I try to give the heads up to Silver Creek. Hopefully the areas that I did warn, hopefully they were able to take note of that warning and somebody's teach some shelter. So that's the whole point of what I do, is I hope to save one person. I say one person through this throughout the years. Hey, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy killing some time doing this, so not a big deal to me. Front page of Reddit, really? Is this a true story? That would be pretty crazy. I think you're probably, because you're on the storm chasing, so I'm probably posted up there. I don't think I made a front page of Reddit. I don't think those posts are that popular, right? No. So I don't think I'm quite there yet, but maybe one day. Because if you follow storm chasing, it's going to put your storm chasing posts up front, as compared to other posts. So that tornado was reported in Polk. I did at least, I gave a little bit of advance notice before that one hit. Right now, the only tornado warning we have is this one down here in Mississippi. It doesn't look very organized. Looks like it's becoming less organized as it moves on. But still, I'm not saying there couldn't be a tornado down in this area, somewhere in here. So we'll keep an eye on it. But things did get intense there for a little bit. I think we had 4 or 5 tornado warnings up. I think we're probably up to close to a dozen reported tornadoes now. So let's see if we do a refresh. We've got to be pretty close. They're still saying 7, but I think it's a little bit slow getting in a couple of the latest reports. So I think we're probably up to probably 10. All those happening up in northern or southern Iowa, northern Nebraska. That's going to change. That will certainly change as these storms continue to fire up through much of Arkansas. We'd be foolish to think they're not going to change. Looking on the base reflectivity here, we're looking at this cell that was still living on. This thing has been alive for quite some time. Started out close to Honey Grove there and still been alive and firing up here and there, hit and miss, as it moves closer to Mena and Waldron, and even this place here is Heavener, Bates, Black Fork. This cell will be moving your direction. Certainly keep an eye on it. It's still a bad cell. Probably the worst looking non-tornadic cell that we have right now. These guys down here, this is, where are we looking at? We're looking at northeastern Oklahoma. This guy right here, we'll keep an eye on him, and he looks pretty serious. Looks like he means some business, so we'll follow him. Pittsburgh, there we go. Some familiar area now. We're Columbus. Wow, that's crazy. Pittsburgh is close to where I live now. I've lived in Columbus, and I went to school at Weir, so all 3 of those, it seems like it's like like my area right there. That's crazy. Checking the base velocity, is nothing showing up too much right now, so it's a little bit slow for the time being. The storm reports are staying a little bit too long. I'm probably going to have to shrink that down a little bit. So anybody who's unfamiliar with Allison House, they're going to get a quick introduction as to how it works. Because those storm reports are staying up a little bit too long. I only like for them to stay up about an hour, so I can get in, look at the information, and get back out. Click on here. We're going to go to Gibson Range. I want my storm reports, local storm reports. 6 hours. Yeah, no. Let's go 1 hour. Let's go 2 hours. 2 hours gives me a little bit of time in case I miss one. Gives me time to catch them again. Tornado, funnel clouds, hail. That's all I want. Update that. Copy the feed right there. We're going to place that right into the place file manager of the Gibson Range software. So post that up there. We'll just go up to the top. Make sure he's above everything else. And that should, there we go. Okay, much more clean. and I've got rid of 10,000 hail, thunderstorms, and everything else, wind gusts. So again, for everybody just now tuning in, or if you haven't been around the whole time, Tornado Watch did get posted for northern Mississippi. That's the one it was telling you about just a little bit earlier in the mesoscale discussions. Looks like they did end up posting a tornado watch for that area, so we'll definitely keep an eye out on storms producing there. If you guys want to interact with me, you can do so on Twitter. It's at WeatherTrek, and it's at WeatherTrek. There, I'm going to be posting a lot of the warnings and trying to get a heads up to as many people as I can. And if you can't, you don't have Twitter or don't really use it, I don't blame you. Jump on Reddit, or you got to be using Reddit. If you're listening to this feed, you're on Reddit. Jump on the /r/storm chasing thread, or you can jump on /r/weather. The link to my feed is right there. You can click on that. Dugup46 is my username. Send me a message. Shoot me a reply back there. Tell me how I'm doing. Let me know if if there's anything else you think about. Hey, it'd be nice if you could do this or do some more of that. Whatever. Again, I'm on the fly. I'm doing this as I'm just kind of going as it comes, shooting from the hips, as I said earlier. That's kind of what I'm doing here. So overall, not too bad. Right now, things have kind of slowed down for another few minutes. It's now 5:30 Central Time. That's when the prime time for some of these tornadoes to start developing. That's when that's going to happen. We are going to continue following this storm down here in Mississippi. This big cell right here, with the tornado warning established to it, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing has not produced yet that I know of, but certainly worth keeping an eye on. I think I did tweet this one out just because it did look bad a little earlier. Starting to see some of that color go away now, so not as bad as it looked a little bit earlier, but still worth keeping an eye on that. And that warning goes until 7 o'clock, so quite a long way to go there. That's still got another 30, actually 6 o'clock Eastern. Or Central, wow, 6 o'clock Central. So you still have another 30 minutes left on that, 25 minutes left on that warning. Anybody in that area seek shelter. Got a severe thunderstorm warning up near Joplin. I'm sure you guys all remember what happened there a few years ago. That was devastating. That was one storm where I gotta say, out of everything that I've been sitting on Twitter and everything else, you can go through my old tweets, and I pushed Joplin, Missouri getting hit about 3 hours before it happened. I just kept tweeting it and tweeting it and tweeting it. I probably made like 5 posts about it. I just had that feeling. I mean, that cell looked like it was just right on line toward it. It looked like it was going to hold its strength. It produced, numerous times on its way there. It just looked like a really bad cell. And I felt like, man, if I did anything good, I felt like that was one cell that I really was able to capitalize on and give those people, quite an advanced warning, at least the best I could. Honestly, reports like this, it doesn't make any sense. Hail report of 1/4 inch hail, golf ball size. Well, a golf ball isn't 1/4 inch. Golf ball is probably 1.5 inches, 2 inch. So, I'm going to guess the golf ball size hail is correct. They're probably going to change the magnitude on that, change it up to 1.5 inches or so. Storm came from the Vance community. I'm not sure what the Vance community is, but that was right in Marks. That's right downtown Marks, and that's all that big hail coming out from the storm. And you can see that the trying to hook around, it's just a little bit less organized than it was earlier. But this storms are always bad because they do produce. If they produce, on the outside here, you can see the inflow of that storm heading right up in here. So that air is sucking in, getting blown out throughout here and here. And that hook coming down from below, so it does produce, it likely be somewhere around Lambert. Whoa. Likely to be somewhere around that Lambert area. Well, now it's even less organized than it was. Guessing some inflow here. There's like, probably 3 or 4 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible cells all connected in together. So not very organized, but a lot of hail coming out from that storm, that's for sure. 2 inch hail is a possibility. All right, sorry about that. I am back. Got a couple new tornado warnings posted up now. I see Missouri. See a couple here in Kansas. Where's the one in Missouri at? All three of these ones right here. There's like 6 warnings. They're all for the same area. 3, 5 warnings. Actually, there's still the one in Mississippi. So 4 different warnings, all for the Missouri area. Let's see what we're looking at here. Damaging tornado, confirmed tornado near Fulton, moving northeast. So let's go ahead and post that one. Where we got this guy here. Law enforcement confirmed tornado. Guessing that's all with this single storm. So that's going to be like Prescott, Worland, Foster. Let's go ahead and get that post out right away. 543. Prescott, Hume, Worland, on the Kansas, Missouri border. Make sure that's Kansas and Missouri before I post that, and it is Kansas, Missouri. So we're going to keep an eye on that storms here in 1 second. As soon as I get that tweet out, let's jump back into the radar. So the confirmed tornado is right here. You can see the nice hook echo. It is coming around to the base velocity. You can see there is some good rotation with that storm right now. So the storm relative velocity, same kind of thing. You can see as colors matching up pretty well. That's going to be right in here. So right in here you do have a tornado. That area right now looks like it's just over some farmland. So we just have to hope that continues as it pushes its way north and east. Looks like it should just go just to the west of Hume. So it looks like they should be all right. Looks like it should be farmland from there out. So hopefully this storm stays on track. Hopefully it misses Hume as it continues to push its way north and east. But a confirmed tornado on the ground. A confirmed tornado located near Fulton, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Damaging tornado and quarter-size hail. And it was a news media confirmed tornado. So no doubt about it, tornado is on the ground there. See if I can jump onto some of the tweets here. See if I got anything written. No, nothing. There's a tornado posted near Upland around 2:30. But, you know, it's just kind of stuff. I don't see anybody reporting that there's a confirmed tornado on the ground. This is a much more serious situation than other ones. Anytime you have a confirmed tornado, and then you have 2 more storms down here that are now tornadic. And this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing, and it looks like it may produce. And we got one right up here of a confirmed tornado on the ground. Although I don't see much with this one right now. It could be down in here, it could be right in here even. A lot of confirmed tornadoes. Things are getting busy. You're seeing a lot more of these tornadoes on the ground, and they're going to continue to get worse as the evening moves on into southern Arkansas and even central Arkansas, even northern Arkansas, as they keep pushing themselves. Let's see if I can do the base velocity. You can see there is some, just the way the colors are. You see those light reds all around and then a light green getting pushed right up the middle. That's indicating that there's some rotation. That's indicating there's rotation right up in here. The inflow coming down, the outflow being pushed out, and then that storm wrapping back around and getting caught back in the inflow, creating your twister-like, classic twister-like kind of a cell. And that's what we're seeing here with this particular cell. So certainly, I would say a tornado on the ground or very close to being on the ground currently in this area. And that's near Fulton, moving just into Missouri here very shortly. I don't want to keep focusing just on that storm because we have other ones that are confirmed tornadoes now, and I want to keep looking at these guys and seeing how they're doing. This one down here looks like, it just doesn't look like anything right now, but it does have a confirmed tornado, and it's heading up to Carl Junction, Lawton, Waco. Anybody in those areas, they should be underground currently. And then you got this guy down here, and he just looks really good. And it looks like the cluster of color right up in here looks like there could be some rotation right now. Storm relative, yeah. You can see, those are really bright two colors, really close together. I'm going to say that's a tornado. Good news is it's not really heading toward a hold two lot, unless it takes a track a little bit further east, which it doesn't look like it's going to do. Well, maybe it will. Damn. We'll go ahead and post this. Looks like a bigger city. We'll post that just to play it safe. And that's 5:49 Central Time. And I'm not going to be able to post all that, so I'm just going to put the rotation detected. Of course, my spelling is about horrible. And we'll go ahead and post that up there. 5:49 Central Time. Okay. That storm looks like it's looks pretty good. Let's go back up to this one. It looked like there was that. The cell up here looked like it was still strong, so we'll see what it's looking like now. TVS marker still down on this cell. Still see the rotation right up in here. You can see that rotation right here. It is looking like there's still a tornado living right up in here, right up in between these two storms. Could certainly be the case. Just don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it looks at all. If you guys, I said I hate spamming, but you gotta get the message out there. I don't know if that's Oklahoma or that's Missouri. Very strong low-level rotation with this storm. And post that out. That does look like it's a pretty bad storm. It doesn't have the classic look I like to see. You can see some of the inflow coming in through here, the outflow up here, but just right up in here, looks like this little ball could be your tornado. And I don't see any debris. If it is a tornado, I don't see any debris with it yet, so that's at least the one good thing about it. Generally, you would see that. I don't, so that's the only good thing about it, but it does look like a tornado is possible with this cell. As well as a couple we have down here. Is that all we have right now? We have one down in Arkansas. The storm here, given a tornado warning. They're saying capable of producing radar not indicating a hold two lot. I'm not seeing a hold two lot with this storm right now, but it certainly could produce as it pushes its way. We have some more storms firing up toward Hot Springs and Mount Ida. Those storms, got to keep an eye on them. Those can go tornadic any minute. Joplin, Missouri, you guys are right in the middle of it again right now. These storms, as they continue to push their way north and east, it looks like you guys should be all right for the time. May see some hail, may see some bad winds, but doesn't look like a tornado is imminent right now for the Joplin area. Looks like this storm is kind of maybe backing off just a little bit, but Neosho, that's a pretty big city. It looks like a fairly large city. That's a little bit disturbing. I don't like to see this. Hopefully that storm tracks west of the city, and that'd be kind of ideal there. Jump back up to the storm. We had that one TS marker or TVS marker down. See what we're doing. It's looking to become a little bit less organized, and that's good news. Could see some rotation down in here. That would be right down in here, and just looks like just west of Hume, northeast of Prescott. So I want to hope that cell misses these two cities as it pushes its way north and east toward Worland and Foster, Missouri. But looks like it's becoming just less organized. We have to hope that's the case as it pushes on. The one right now is probably the one down in the Neosho. Is probably the best looking cell that we still have with that nice hook to it. Although radar indicating nothing right now, so hopefully they've all died out, and that would be ideal. That was all it's going on. We have this one down here in Mississippi still. It hasn't looked organized for a little while now. It still doesn't look too organized. I think the tornado warning may be still in effect. Still continue to indicate tornado. I can see where they're talking, likely right up in here, but I don't see all too long on the radar right now for this area. So hopefully that storm has died out. Got this one cell way down in here. Not showing a whole lot, but it is set up nice. It's set up a beautiful, classic supercell. The inflow coming in right in this area, the outflow getting pushed out, and then that nice hook coming down. Doesn't quite. The storms are a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. You're used to seeing these cells kind of, instead of being vertical, you're seeing usually you see east and west on the cells with the hook coming down. You're seeing a little bit more north and south with the hook coming down. And I've seen that with all these cells so far. So a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing. We'll see how that plays out on the reports going forward. Still some strong rotation with this cell. Even if it's not rotation, just the inflow and the outflow, it's still there. I don't see, I just got another warning just popped up. Confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado heading near Glenton, moving northeast. And this is reported a particularly dangerous situation on a warning. Those are rare, and as I said, it looked like it was some rotation right up in here, but this could be the whole tornado, guys. This whole area right here could be a tornado. That does appear to be the case. Lawton, Waco, they need to get, this is bad. 556, Waco, and I want to make sure I get this right, Lawton. And this is in, where am I at, Oklahoma? Kansas and Missouri. Outside of that, what do we have? What do we have here? We have Lawton, Waco, Ashbury. Looks like after that it looks like nothing too much. Next city maybe. I'm gonna leave that out for now. Oh, come on. Stupid suggestions just keep popping up. It's a very bad situation. You don't like to see that kind of stuff. This looks like a large tornado right here. This whole area is your tornado. Look at the base velocity. You can see just this whole area right in here is a tornado. monster of a tornado. Geez. It's confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado, particularly dangerous and damaging tornado on the ground near Jelena. Damage has been reported in Baxter Springs. Man, you don't like to read these kind of warnings. You're in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. This storm just moving across. It's still in Kansas right now, moving northeast at 37 miles per hour, heading into the Kansas area. Very bad situation right now. A large, extremely dangerous tornado confirmed on the ground, heading toward Lawton and Waco. We just have to hope they miss. Waco, the little city of Waco here looks, man, it's not looking good. Lawton, you may just miss the storm to your east. Waco, you're right in the line here. People in this area, they need to really get down. We have to hope that Lawton, it misses Lawton and goes just east of Lawton. That's all you can really hope for. We go up to Kansas City. Let's see what this cell's doing up here. Still got my TVS marker down. And I knew this was going to be a busy day. This is what, it's what you expect, and it's not what you hope for. You don't hope to see all these tornadoes. You just have to hope they miss all the cities, and that's not always the case, but you have to hope it. These storms down here in Mississippi, still new tornado warnings being published with them frequently. Serious thunderstorm capable of producing, so nothing immediately horrible at that. Still got the guy up here in Black Fork, capable of producing. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Certainly the biggest threat is this guy just northwest of Joplin. You're looking at like Carl Junction, Lawton, Waco. Large, dangerous tornado on the ground right now. You still see there is still some good rotation with that storm. Not as tight in as you'd expect, but this isn't radar. This is confirmed, so it is there for sure. Jump back on Twitter for just a second. You guys can check me out. It's at WeatherTrek. And that's at WeatherTrek, or just hit me up on Reddit with the DogUp46 username on our storm chasing or our weather thread on both of those subreddits. My link for the live stream. Send me a message. Let me know how I'm doing. Might be a little bit slow getting back to you. It's getting a little bit intense here, so I'll do what I can. But first and foremost, I care about the weather, so I have to, send out these notifications as frequently as I can. You can still see right here is where your tornado is going to be. Just with the way it's kind of, that red kind of comes down is it's going to be right in this area if it is still there, which, see the inflow coming in from the south, the outflow coming out up here, but you see that rotation kind of trying to peek back around. It could certainly produce again if it's not producing right now, but a large, dangerous tornado was reported with much damage to the city of confirmed tornado near Carl Junction. Damaging tornado, $half size hail. Damage was reported in Baxter Springs, Kansas. See, it's tough when I say that kind of stuff and I don't see it on the radar. I don't see it here. I don't see where Baxter Springs is at. And I'm going to assume it's in this area right up in here. So, large, dangerous tornado on the ground. And jump back through. We'll check out some of the posts if I have anything on Reddit real quick. So we have a link to a tornado live chase in Pittsburgh. we'll take a close look on that one. Thanks to Masta MP3 for posting up the retimer following that storm, reporting the tornado damage there as well. Multiple large tornadoes going on in Nevada, Joplin. He's got some pig's eyes picking on the radar. Meh. So things are really starting to take off here, and unfortunately, it looks like is that Baxter Springs? Is that, yeah, there it is. So it's down here. Pretty big city, and that looks to be the city that took the brunt of that tornado as it went right down in here. And I'm guessing the tornado was right here at the time. Still a lot, still circling right here. Kind of curled back up and in. And maybe reproducing down in here. Still right here, and that's where we're at currently. So tornadoes still could be on the ground. I like my base velocity. I don't see that real tight rotation, but if it's not there, it could, reappear here any moment. So certainly keep your eye on it. Looks like the cell that I was talking about Neosho, it looks like it is going to go just east or west of Neosho. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully this thing keeps tracking up here. A tornado was radar indicated right down in here. We'll keep an eye on this guy and see if this inflow, see if something produces down in here in the next few moments. Joplin dodging a bullet for right now. Just because he sells a pass doesn't mean you're done yet, but it does appear that you've dodged a bullet for the time being. Currently 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Storms are still firing up fairly rapidly as they push their way into Arkansas right now. A lot of stuff happening in Arkansas. You can see Hot Springs still in this one cell, kind of been sticking around there for a little bit of time now. As it continues to strengthen, we'll keep an eye on that one for anything that could happen. As this storm looks like it may have died out just a bit, I'm going to step away, take a short break, grab a drink, and I'll be right back here to follow these storms as they continue to produce. Confirmed tornado of Baxter Springs, Kansas, looking like they're taking some damage. And that's in the far southeast of Kansas. Confirmed damage to that city. We'll see if we can get some pictures via Twitter. If you have any pictures, have any other information, please shoot me a message on Reddit so I can grab that and post up those pictures as they happen. I'd appreciate that. Well, is that a tornado right here? Yeah, so you got a tornado right here. This is the one we were just not looking at. This is the one was in Baxter Springs, moved itself up just west of Joplin. You see the tornado right here. You can see this just absolute monster of a wall cloud and the tornado right there. So there was a tornado near Galena and Carl Junction as that storm moved on. Right now things are slowing down just a bit for the moment, and we'll jump back in here in the next few minutes and continue coverage of today's severe weather events. All right, we're back here. We'll jump in for just a quick moment. See if we tornado warning for Bates, Missouri. Nothing too much. Did get a notification that somebody else follow me. That's terrific. Severe thunderstorm. Nothing going on there. Reddit. Anything on you guys? Nothing there. Okay, which is okay. Allows me to jump right back in. This is the guy here. This is the one post that did have the tornado. Is there? Looks like there is some kind of well, I guess it's comments. I guess if you comment on the YouTube, it works kind of like a chat. I guess similar to it, so that's interesting. I don't have my own live stream up. Be interesting to see what happens if I do. I have to turn my muted sound. But I guess if you comment there, I guess it kind of comes up in chat. Oh, yeah, I think I think there is some kind of comments. Yeah, okay. So yeah, if you're interested in commenting, comment on the YouTube channel, and I guess it shows right up on the side there. So that's not bad. We'll jump back into the radar, see what we're dealing with. We do have that confirmed tornado still ongoing, but beginning to rope out. That was that. This is near Hume and Warlord Foster. I did publish out warnings to them already. Hopefully this thing is still not ongoing, but looks like it could be. Another circulation may turn into another tornado southwest of Foster. That's what I'm looking at right here. Looks like this guy could turn into a tornado. So let's see what we're looking at. I'm not seeing any low-level rotation or even upper-level rotation of this guy right now, but not indicating that it couldn't turn into a tornado. We'll keep an eye on this guy. This area here heading just to the, should be just east of Foster. And it is going to be heading just east of Foster. Trying to get some better imagery of the area. See if it's what kind of a city we're looking at. Sometimes those feeds are a little bit, Foster's very small city, so hopefully this cell continues to push out and just to your east. So keep an eye on that cell. As we move further south, they've now changed this to a severe thunderstorm capable of producing, so nothing indicating rotation right now. Even though it still could be, this thing is still pretty strong. Certainly keep an eye on this cell right here. That's a bad cell. And then you have the one toward Neosho. It's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing, not producing currently. We go back into Arkansas. We have a tornado warning posted here. Continue to indicate a severe thunderstorm capable of producing. It could even be producing in Oklahoma, I'm guessing this is. Yeah. Could be producing in this area. Let's see what we're looking at rotation. Maybe up in here, more or less. Somewhere up in here. This could be producing, or at least there is some rotation. So we'll follow this cell very carefully. It's right in that area where they said, to be very careful in. And then you still have these guys down here in Mississippi. Doppler radar and continued to indicate a tornado. It was only 5 minutes ago. They're probably looking at that right there, right in here, which could be. It could be a tornado. And that would be heading toward us. Well, I guess it's heading more northeast, more toward Como. I'm not sure why that warning is so spread out eastern. It should be more further north toward Como and areas surrounding it, areas to the west of it. So keep an eye out as it tracks northeast. It should be very close to Como, and it's going to pretty much ride the interstate as it pushes its way northeast on that track. What else do we got? We got one in Arkansas. We've got the ones in Missouri and Kansas. Those are still the bad ones. There's just so many warnings posted up with these storms as they continue to just strengthen and really, produce. They have a history of producing, in this area, and we'll have to keep following these and see what all happens. Down here in Neoshow, not showing anything right now on that cell, so hopefully it dies out and move a little bit further north toward this one up here in Butler and Passaic and Adrian. The one down here, right down here in Foster, we're looking at this to see if this produces. If it's going to produce, it's going to produce right up in here. Generally, you know that because you'll see the inflow of a storm right up in here. So the storm is sucking in here. It's throwing a lot of stuff out there, but it's also circling back around, getting caught back in that inflow and creating a rotation right down in this area. So we'll keep an eye on that as it pushes its way north and east. Jump back on Twitter for 1 minute, do a quick update, see if anybody's posted anything. We'll see a whole 2-lot right now. WeatherTrek, man, they really pump out the posts. Talking about tornado warnings right now. Pretty much have them all listed. Jump on Twitter or Reddit real quick. Still nothing on there, so things are slowing down just a little bit for the time being. Still a couple tornadoes possible. Let's see if we can get an updated tornado count. We're at 11 right now. I expect that number to increase just a little bit more, maybe probably around 12 or 13 confirmed tornadoes. Arkansas still nothing producing just yet. But given the conditions, I still wouldn't be too surprised to see it. Let's look at the convective outlook and see. They still show that high risk. They've now moved it up. No, I was looking at hail damage. They still have the highest risk down in southern Arkansas, so we'll keep an eye on that. They've maybe minimized it just a bit. Let's see what we're saying here. Extreme northeast Texas this afternoon to tonight. Greatest tornado risk will be seen around Arkansas. Be possible through tonight, so could be in for a long night. I'm not going to be streaming that long, unfortunately. Be cutting off sooner than later. I'm going to go here. Got a funnel cloud. Tornado is still ongoing this time. We're going to rip out, and there's the funnel cloud there. Let's see what we're looking at. Bring the base velocities. I'm not seeing much rotation on it right now. It doesn't look too organized, but I'm guessing that tornado would be somewhere around here. Could be up in here as well, or even down here. And this is kind of a mess right now on radar. See what happens with it. A lot of storms happening in central Arkansas. Nothing happening in southern Arkansas where the conditions were predicted to be the most favorable. Not even a raindrop. So it's interesting to see. The storm's heading more north toward the Kansas and Missouri border. Got a couple of cells to the just east of Dallas near Canton and Kaufman. Cells producing some very big hail, baseball-sized hail, smashing out windows of vehicles west of Canton. And that cell continues to move itself east, northeast, and 2.5-inch hail. Likely that storm. You can start to see it may try to tail down, so we'll keep an eye on that. See if anything happens with it. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and take another quick break, and we'll see if the conditions continue to exhibit more tornadoes. Fire station destroyed north end of town, sustained very heavy damage, and that was in Quapaw, Oklahoma, north Baxter Springs. That was probably the same tornado that hit Baxter Springs. So some bad reports coming out of Baxter Springs and Quapaw, Oklahoma, and Kansas. We'll follow these storms as they continue to develop. Shoot me a message on Twitter at WeatherTrek, TREK, or on Reddit on the /r/storm chasing as the day continues to unfold here. Okay, we're back. Running quickly through some of those tornadic storms up there to see if there's anything indicating anything right now. Tornado reported in the storm here in Mississippi. I think it's Mississippi. Yes. Law enforcement reported confirmed a tornado near Hood Road, near the Panola and Quitman County line. That's likely right here. See if we get any. No, not getting a rotation on it right now, but it did confirm a tornado. Guessing right here. It's a little bit. Shouldn't have been a big one, but still a tornado nonetheless. That's it. I mean, so right now it's kind of a short little lull. Tornado warning expiring down here in Arkansas. The only tornado warning they had in Arkansas expiring, but right now it looks like it's Missouri getting the brunt of all the storms. Arkansas getting a little bit of a break. TVS being reported here. Could be. It's looking like it wants to, so we'll certainly keep a very close eye on this storm. So it's currently capable of producing. That's just to the south and east of Diamond, Missouri. So that storm pushing its way north and east at 35 miles an hour. Could be a tornado on the ground. I'm not ready to jump to that conclusion just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something pop up here shortly from a storm report indicating that there is one. I'm going to hurry up and jump back to Twitter, see if there's anything new in here. This is not what you want to see. Injuries reported in Quapaw, Oklahoma. Crew in place gathering the latest information. You can see the picture here. There are some damaged buildings. You hate to see it, but you know, it's just the way it is sometimes, and that's unfortunate. And so hope there's enough guys like me and enough information out there. There certainly is. Just hopefully the people out there are reading these messages and taking them as serious as they can, because they are very serious. And you just see from this picture here, tornado looking like an F1 kind of came through here and destroyed a couple buildings. Tore down the roofing on some, so there are some injuries reported in Quapaw, Oklahoma, and that was right in this area here. I'm not sure where exactly. Right here. A fire station was destroyed, and there are some injuries. So that tornado that hit a little bit earlier, not quite an hour ago, just about an hour ago, that came right up through this area here and did a lot of damage to the southern area of Quapaw in Oklahoma. See if the radar feed up there, the satellite feed updates a little bit better. We can get a little bit better of an eye on what's happening. And I hit right down in this area. Not sure what those buildings are, but there are certainly some buildings there. So a couple of these buildings got destroyed. There are some injuries reported in Quapaw, Oklahoma. You hate to see it. That's just, like I said, that's just the way it is sometimes, I guess. And these cells here looking like they're about to dissipate out. This warning here, I'm not sure if that's going to get extended or not. We'll keep an eye on it, see if it does. Things have slowed down just briefly. Received a little bit of a lull. With everything right now. This guy here, not showing the rotation, but certainly keep an eye on that big cell. Let's jump into Arkansas, see what we're working with down here. This is where things could start to get dangerous quickly as the night moves on. It's a Hot Springs area. You're seeing a big cell there currently. Waldron, small little thunderstorm there. Guessing that's just wind damage. Yeah, excess of 60 miles per hour. Nothing too bad. This guy here probably looking at some hail though. Right now, short lull in action from these storms. So I think it's capable of producing. I don't see anything yet that shows it's producing, but keep an eye on that. Batesville, Sardis. You can see a little bit of a hook here, but a little bit unorganized. Relatively speaking, the storms today have been, in my opinion, a little bit more unorganized than I thought they were going to be. Given that you have the high chance, and there's still a lot of time left. I mean, you're still looking at like another 5 hours for Arkansas. So, you know, I'm not going to be on here for much longer. I'm going to be cutting my feet off. Didn't even expect to be on for this long. But as those storms move on, you know, southern Arkansas, as these storms continue to blow up, you got to take those warnings very seriously. These cells out here toward Dallas, still firing up, still producing large hail. 2¼ inch hail is now gone, but still 2¼ inch hail. And whoa, you can see that hook. It's trying to. It's starting to. You know, pretty dangerous situation there. Confirmed tornado just north of Batesville, Mississippi, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour, and a new tornado warning for Memphis, just south of Memphis. So let's see what we're looking at here. I don't see the tornado warning for Memphis yet. He's saying just north of Batesville. So you're talking right here. So there is a tornado confirmed right there. I'm going to go ahead and just retweet him because I think he says it all pretty well there. This cell does have a tornado with it. Not showing a rotation right now, but there is certainly a tornado. You know, storm chasers out there confirming that for us. Newest tornado warning near Memphis. I don't know if that's, he's talking about this storm right here. I'm guessing that's the one he's talking about. That storm, this is saying a thunderstorm producing a tornado, so they are indicating that there's a tornado right in this area. Just not getting good data on my feeds to like really say for sure that there's a tornado there, but if there is, it's going to be heading just to the east of Memphis as those storms continue to push on. Sorry, Coxie, capable of producing, and it looks like that's it. So a lot of the tornado warnings have finally let expired. Our next rounds are 7:45. The only thing we'll have left is this guy down here in Mississippi, and that's the cell here. That's looking a lot more like a tornado. I'm not showing the rotation, but that's really what you're looking at. And this is the classic setup. You have the big supercell up here producing the large hail, very large hail, probably 3½ inch. My goodness. Very large hail being reported up here. Your inflow and then your outflow up here, wrapping back around, getting your tornado to produce in this general area. Right now, just over some farms, but very bad situation there. As that heads up towards Savage, I'm going to go ahead and post a warning up for Savage. That's 6:31. I'll be heading their way in about 15 minutes. Well, it's MS. Sometimes I forget a lot of these abbreviations, but I believe MS is correct. Go ahead and post that out. Let's see where we're back out here. So right now, that's the biggest threat. Are those two cells down here in Mississippi. Trying to follow live streams while live streaming. It's quite a wreck right now, but we do have some storm chasers out and about right now. A lot of this is all Arkansas. They're waiting around Arkansas. Nothing in the immediate area of where I'm looking at. Let's see, we're out in storm reports real quick. Up to 12 tornadoes now. After that one in Hume is being reported. There's also a couple more now that we know down in Mississippi. So we're going to be over probably 15, probably over 20 before it's all said and done. And this guy here looks really good. We'll keep an eye on him. Looking really good though. This guy down here, strong inflow with this guy. Heading down, you can see the nice tail to it, so something that could end up producing a big old warning attached to it as well. So they're expecting this one to live out for, I'd say, at least half an hour. I think that's it for right now. I'm going to have to head out of here before too much longer. I feel like I've been doing this for a long time. I've only been doing it for 3.5 hours. I feel like, man, being a DJ host, I'd be getting tired of talking before, all this time. It's crazy. I'd like to see where we're at with these storms popping up in southern Arkansas. There's just so many clusters, and it's tough to produce when you have this many clusters of storms. Not saying they can't, not saying they won't. I'm saying it's a little bit more difficult for the storms to produce tornadoes when they're all so close together. It's tough for one of them to get enough energy. They all kind of feed off each other, and they all kind of kill each other at the same time. So a little bit tougher. This storm right here probably being the most serious one. I think that there is a tornado on the ground. I just don't see the rotation, but I think that there is one right here. So we'll follow that one. This is, if you're doing this by yourself, this is a storm you want to follow right up in here. It's got a nice huge hail, 3.5-inch hail, nice hook to it. It's just missing the rotation immediately. Just a lot of stills. Kind of slowing down a little bit. Yeah, look at that. That looks like it could be a debris roll. Base velocity is still not showing much there. But it looks like a tornado. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a tornado report come out just south of Dubs to the southwest of Sarah. But for right now, I think I'm going to sign out. I've been at it for a little while. I'm getting a little burned out from it all. New tornado warning being posted up here. Confirmed tornado near Nevada, moving northeast. It's like every time I say I'm going to leave, we get stuff like this that happens, and it makes me want to stay. Confirmed tornado near Nevada. That cell moving northwest toward Walker, Harwood, and Shell City. I want to make that post, and I'm going to get out of here. So that's 6:36 Central Time. Near Nevada, moving toward Walker, Harwood, Shell City. And that is that's all Missouri. And I think that's going to be my last post here tonight. I've been at it for a little while, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out. Just want to thank everybody for watching, tuning in. It's been a good time. I'm out of a voice, so make make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at WeatherTrek. It's at WeatherTrek. And make sure you guys post stuff online here on the /r/storm chasing subreddit. Let me know how it was. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. And, definitely enjoyed, following the weather. I wish I could do it a little bit longer, but it's just too long. So, and I think these storms are going to continue on through the night. So be sure to keep an eye on them if you live in these regions. And like I said, follow that Twitter account for more days like this, and posts about the storms as we move forward. So I appreciate everybody watching, and stay safe out there. And if you're going to be chasing these storms in the future, definitely stay safe, and wish everybody the best of luck. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.